Mic check 1 2. Hello, hello, hello. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2 2 1. Mic check. What's going on? What's happening? What's crack-a-lacking? Welcome back to the Agostino Zinga Show, episode number 1040. With I, your host, Agostino Zinga. How you doing? How you feeling? How you doing? How you feeling? Great, good to know, great to hear, good to know, great to hear. How am I? All good, all things considered. I cannot complain. All good, all things considered. I truly cannot complain. Thank you for joining me on this illustrious, this lovely, this beautiful, this gorgeous, lovely day that we have here today. Today's show will be jam-packed full of stuff, full of many cultural leanings, cultural learnings, and everything else in between. You know what it is when it comes from me. So sit back, relax, grab yourself your favorite drink and everything else in between. And let's just dive right in to the Blood Clot Show. First thing I wanted to talk about. Where the hell did I put it? First thing I wanted to talk about was this. I was out and about earlier today, right? Mostly going on my run. Mostly I was out on my run, having a good time, running around the park. By the way, running in the park is very underrated. I used to fucking hate the monotony of having to run around a park, similar to like hate the monotony of running on a fucking treadmill. But running in the park, in a circle, getting your miles in that way, I feel like it's way more effective, for me anyway at least, than having to traverse the streets of London, having to stop every time for traffic lights, having to run around people just stop in the middle of the road, having to try to not get run over by cars, run over by bikes, run over by people on Lime bikes, people on fucking Lime scooters, people on their own super turbocharged electric scooters and electric bikes. It's actually quite hazardous. So I'm not gonna lie, I am enjoying running around the park in a circle, or in like a relative, not like an actual circle, but just running around it. I actually don't mind it, and I even don't mind it without the track, because there's like a little footpath, obviously. But when that's full, there's people walking, with their kids or their dogs. I just run on the grass, and that's perfectly fine too. Because sometimes running on the grass can help you a little bit with your, with the muscles in your legs. Can also help you with the muscles in your feet, and just generally give you a better kind of sense of, running form and shit. Because most of the time, if you run on grass, or if you run on concrete or on grass, your feet kind of, at least in my case anyway, they automatically adjust to where I am. So if I'm running on grass, I become a lot more I start landing way more on the balls of my feet. I'm not heel striking at all automatically. It's almost like if you run without any shoes on. If you run without any shoes on, usually your body kind of automatically makes you run on your toes. Automatically runs around the ball of your feet. You're not really going to heel strike as much as you would if you're wearing like really big chunky shoes. So I'm not going to lie, I am really enjoying running around the park. So I was running around the park, and what I saw earlier today was something that kind of blew my mind, because it was kind of in direct comparison. It was a stark contrast to what I had seen earlier on the internet. So on the internet, on social media, when I was browsing, doing my little morning browse, I happened to stumble across this particular picture right here. Let me get up on the screen. I happened to stumble across this particular picture right here of the one and only Millie-Bobby Brown and her husband, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the kid that is I think it's Bon Jovi's son, if I'm not mistaken. He's called Jake Bon Jovi, basically. So they're out and about with their child in New York, pushing the kid in the stroller. And the first thing that came to mind when I saw the picture is, Jesus Christ, that's a massive stroller, isn't it? Looks like a fucking tank. And Millie-Bobby Brown's not the biggest girl in the world, right? She's not the biggest woman in the world. She's a pretty dainty, small, petite young lady. And she is carrying or pushing a stroller in and around New York. And it is massive. It kind of reminds me of like, oh, is this girl wearing Isabel Marant sneakers? There's something about a girl wearing Isabel Marant sneakers in the city that just does it for me. I don't know what. Maybe it's my inner Vogue Paris fan Because I think that's kind of the era that I kind of got into fashion, was when Emanuela Alt and this other lady who's also French, and another lady who had like a Turkish sounding name. There's like this group of women who came under Karen Roitford. I think actually Emanuela Alt and Karen Roitford had like a beef that eventually led to Karen Roitford leaving Vogue Paris, and then Emanuela Alt taking over as a fashion director. But there were all these women who were like working there as fashion directors who were just killing as stylists and shit. And they would all be wearing like kitten heels, Isabel Marant fucking sneakers and shit. Ugh, I don't know. I fell in love with that shit. I don't know why. So every time I see a lady now wearing Isabel Marant living in the city, something, you know what I mean? My cocky goes, hello. But anyway, you don't need to know what my cocky makes what makes my cocky hello. So I'll take that back. Apologies. But I saw this picture and it got me thinking, like, it must be so hard to be a new mum nowadays. It must be so difficult to be a new mum nowadays, because there's no reason. I don't think there's any practical reason why Millie-Bobby Brown's baby stroller has to be this big. There's no practical reason. There's no way this stroller is better than normal stroller. I mean, there's no reason why this is that. It's just too big. It's simply too big. But the reason why she's got this preposterous, like, you know, almost vintage looking, not vintage, but maybe like, I don't know, whatever, this crazy contraption, is probably because of social pressure from other mums. There's no way this stroller is like 10 times better than like a regular stroller that I used to be in. And when I think of regular strollers, I think of these. Because I think to myself, hold on, what stroller did I get pushed in when I was a baby? Or me and my brothers? I'm pretty sure we were in something like this. I'm pretty sure me and my brothers were like in something that looked like this, where it's basically the most bog standard pram buggy stroller you could ever get. The most bog standard one. I remember being pushed in this, or pushing my brothers in something like this, or pushing my niece and nephews in something like this. And most likely when I'm growing up, I think these strollers were passed down. I'm pretty sure these strollers were passed down. So like if my big ass got pushed in it, my brother got pushed in it, then maybe you'd go to like a fucking car boot sale or like a secondhand store and you'd buy another one. But you really kind of kept this same sort of frame, very basic kind of like steel pipes or frame, whatever that thing is, in that kind of like triangle-ish type of shape. A very basic chair, no cushions, no nothing. It's almost like a camping chair that's been kind of slotted in there. There's no, and if there was room, because I think a lot of mums, sometimes new mums, they use their pram as like a makeshift bag, right? It's like a makeshift kind of like luggage thing. So you kind of put other things. There's like storage units. There's like relative storage units here. There's storage units you can put underneath the baby. Storage units on top. It's always weird storage units. The storage units that I remember when I got pushed in a buggy were these. That was a storage unit. These handlebars. My mum would have like shopping when we'd go to like, I don't know, the Upton Park Market or Bark, whatever. My mum would have the shoppings, the fruits and the vegetables and the meats hanging off of here. In some cases, even if I was a baby, your mum would be giving you the bags to carry, and she'd put more shopping here in the seat. So you didn't even have the seat. You might have a seat on the way there, but on the way back, you had no chair to sit down on. You had to carry the fucking bags. And more bags were put in this place here. But I don't remember any time in my life where a buggy like this was ever necessary or something that people had. But to be fair to Millie-Bobby Brown, I'm pretty sure she's only pushing this baby stroller, this crazy contraption, because of social pressure from other mums. And I'm wondering today, like, that must be such an annoying thing to be like a new mum, especially if you're like a rich mum, because there's gonna be things that exist in like rich mum world that I have no idea about. Like, oh, you use those type of nappies? You know what I mean? You're gonna get poor shamed. You're gonna get fucking shamed into buying like fucking the Balenciaga of fucking nappies. You're gonna get poor shamed into like not vaccinating your kids. You're gonna get poor shamed into not hiring a tutor for each class your kid takes. You're gonna get poor shamed for not buying your kid like, I don't know, an iPad Pro Max with an M5 chip. You know, they're gonna be all these dumb things that don't make any sense. It's like, what the fuck? Like, because I just look at them like, what does this stroller do better than the one that I grew up in? What does it do better? Like, apart from maybe having some extra place to put some storage in it. It even looks uncomfortable to push. I bet it's not. I bet maybe it's easy. It even looks uncomfortable. Especially in a place like New York. It even looks uncomfortable to push. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's easy to push around. But it looks kind of uncomfortable to kind of push around. It's so big and hulking. The wheels don't look like they turn or they give too much. From what I remember, it's been a long time since I've been in New York, right? I've been to New York like what, two or three times for work. But the times I went to New York, the first thing I realized or I noticed when I was in New York, different to the UK, the pavement to the road is quite steep. It's a little tiny thing that you don't really notice if you're from America. But in the UK, our pavements or our pavements to our road, it's not that steep. Whereas in New York, like you can literally, if you're skateboarding off of a fucking pavement onto the road, you could basically do a kickflip. You could essentially do a fucking heel flip. You could do a fucking nollie heel flip off of a curb onto a road, in New York, and it would be perfectly fine. There'd be enough room for you to clear it. In the UK, you try to spin your deck, you're gonna fall down generally because the pavement and the road are so like, you know, there's not that much, like it's not that steep. Whereas in New York, it's super steep. So I can't imagine having to fucking, you know, traverse the buggy down, then traverse the buggy up. Don't get me wrong, they're rich people, right? Don't get me wrong. They're both rich people. One of them is the son of a fucking legendary musician, Bon Jovi and shit. I get it. But New York is still not a place where you want to be driving around in a car all day, especially with a baby. It's going to be warm and hot. You're going to be stuck in traffic. So New York is one of those weird cities where, yes, there's a lot of rich people there, but everyone has to kind of walk the streets because the roads are so fucking busy and traffic and full of traffic and cars and shit. So you kind of have to go around with your fucking buggy. And I can't imagine how much of a headache it's going to be if one of those wheels gets covered in dog shit. I can't imagine how much of a headache it's going to be if one of those fucking fancy wheels gets covered in dog shit in the park. Whereas the one that I was pushed in, if it gets covered in dog shit, you just like sprayed it with a fucking hose. These fucking shitty plastic wheels, which sometimes you replace them with skate, like you just sprayed it with a fucking hose. If that got covered in dog shit, you just sprayed it in the fucking hose. Or I did anyway, not my mum. You would have to spray it with a fucking hose. Or brush it with something. Like it'll be come up in 2 seconds. Whereas those fancy wheels with, like, do you know what I mean? The one that Millie-Bobby Browns got with those fucking fancy wheels, there's no spraying that off. That shit's kind of locked into the tread. It's locked in everywhere. Each wheel probably has a fucking valve. You have to pump it as well. It's just so excessive. And it got me thinking immediately, like, fucking prayers and thoughts go out to these new mums. Because being a new mum in this generation, especially with people always kind of comparing and contrasting, it must be a fucking headache. All the stuff you have to buy and do just so you can fit in with the Joneses. Just so you don't feel poor. Just so your kid doesn't feel poor. Just so you don't feel awkward and shit. It must be fucking awful. It must be fucking awful. Talking about being awful. Talking about being awful. Talking about being awful. I just dropped a brand new Patreon episode. It's available now if you just check out. I'm going to put the link in the chat if you care. I'm going to put the link in the chat if you fucking care. It will also be in the description later on if you want to care as well. I put together a little Patreon reaction. Part 1. It's going to be two parts. It's part 1 is dropping today. Part 2 is dropping tomorrow. I did my reaction of the roast of Kevin Hart, on Netflix. It happened a while back ago, if I'm not mistaken. No, it happened this past weekend. A while back ago. Happened this past weekend live on Netflix. I didn't get a chance to stream it live, unfortunately. But I did do my reaction of halfway through the special. The roast of Kevin Hart. And it's pretty decent. It's not as good as the Tom Brady roast, in my opinion. I don't think it's as good as the Tom Brady roast at all. But I do enjoy, I'm not going to spoil how it goes, but I do enjoy how Kevin Hart approached his roast. It's a lot more jovial, if that makes any sense. It's a lot more fun. But it is very noticeable. I'll give you this teaser. It is very noticeable how dark everything gets and how somber it gets the moment Tony Hinchcliffe steps on stage. Tony Hinchcliffe's set for the Kevin Hart roast, for whatever reason, wasn't as funny and was a bit, I don't know, it just came across a bit dark. Maybe because he lent on a lot of racial jokes on Kevin Hart special, and he was doing the whole like machine gun style of like going like joke. He didn't let any of these jokes breathe. He was just like going one bang after bang after bang after banger. And I felt like, I don't think he lost a room, but I think the room was very uncomfortable. Let's just say that. And after a whole period of people coming up and doing really funny jokes and kind of like, some of them were really cruel, some of them were really edgy, but they were still kind of rooted in love. For Tony Hinchcliffe to go up on stage and essentially do his best black jokes, right? He kind of started firing off his best black jokes. It was absolutely brutal how the mood in the fucking room, in the arena, changed. It changed so fucking quickly. So I recommend you check it out. It's available now on my Patreon, patreon.com/Agostino, patreon.com/Agostino. Link is in the description. Link is on my link tree. You know where to find it. $1, I think, is basically you can get access to all my shit. $1 only, you can get access to all of my shit on Patreon. So make sure you check it out. Part 2 will be dropping tomorrow. I think it's about 3 hours long. I didn't want to do the whole thing in one sitting because I got a lot to get through today. But part 2 will be available tomorrow, which is about, I think I've got like an hour or so left of the whole thing. So make sure if you don't want to watch it on your own, you want a bit of my color commentary on there, check out my Patreon at patreon.com/Agostino to get a viewing of what it's about. But I enjoyed it. Again, not as good as Tom Brady, not as good as Tom Brady for me, but I did fucking enjoy what I saw. For the most part, I did enjoy what I saw. And it's also good to be reminded that there is good comedy out there, you know, because I cover a lot of like bad comedy on the Random Show, and just generally sometimes on here as well. Or I'm kind of like, you know, or I kind of look out for bad comedy, obviously, because it makes the show way more fun if the comedy shit. I kind of forget that there are some people that are good at it, you know? And Shane Gillis, Shane Gillis as the host, what an incredible performance. What an incredible performance. Shane Gillis absolutely killed it. Like, beyond belief, killed it. Killed it. I really enjoyed how Shane Gillis approached it. Essentially, every time Shane Gillis introduced somebody, every time he introduced somebody, he went on a fucking amazing rant, an amazing tirade that I felt like had everybody on fucking tenterhooks. It was so fucking good. I recommend you check it out for him alone, actually, to be honest. I recommend you check it out for him alone. He's absolutely killing it. He is absolutely killing it. So big up him. And then I think also the production of it was pretty cool as well. I really enjoyed the production of it. I'm not going to lie. They did a really good job in terms of making it feel small, if that makes any sense. Making it feel small but making it feel super big, if that, because it was basically a super big arena. But they made it feel somewhat small in a sense, somewhat fucking small. So big up them for killing it with that regard. Big up them for absolutely killing it. The fucking roast of Kevin Hart, and also for him for being a good sport, to be honest, because those type of things aren't easy to go through in the time, you know. Maybe it's easy to talk about, but in the moment when you're actually going through it, it might not be the easiest thing to go through. So big up Kevin Hart for being a good sport in general. Big up Kevin Hart for being a good sport in fucking general. You love to see it, or at least I love to see it anyway. At least I love to see it. That's the main thing. As long as I love to see it, that's the fucking main thing. As long as I love to see it, that's the bloody main thing. So continuing on, just a short one, right? This is a very, very short one. I want to just like go over because I think it's really important to kind of talk about slightly. I've said on here many times that I don't really understand why people put up with Adam 22 or No Jumper, right? I don't understand why people put up with him. He seems like a very unlikable character, the kind of person people would say, oh, this person deserves to be punched in the face. They've never been punched in the face before. That's why they say this and that. I don't agree with violence and shit. Don't touch anybody. But he is the living embodiment of a person who maybe needs a real hard slap around the face, because the way he acts, the way he talks, the way he kind of communicates with some of these gangbangers, the way he kind of talks about black people in general, he just comes across a bit of a cunt. He comes across, or as we say in the UK, he comes across like a bit of a prick, right? Adam 22 comes across like a bona fide prick. even needs communication with some of his co-hosts and people that he works for him and stuff. He's very disrespectful. Just I don't know. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. Especially when he has a track record of fucking over people, right? He has a track record of burning bridges. He has a track record of not being friends with people, or at least letting them think they're friends, and then when he doesn't need them anymore, discarding them. But I also always said that I can't really be mad at Adam 22 because he's always himself. He's consistently a piece of shit. So if you keep going back to Adam 22 if you keep going back to the No Jumper platform and you keep getting fucked over, you only have yourself to blame, because Adam 22 is quite consistent in being Adam 22. So you really can't, judge him, hate him, be pissed off about him too much, because he is who he says he is. He's exactly what he says in the tin at all fucking points. And I remember saying a few times when I was going on these rants of Adam 22 and No Jumper being shit now, that the only reason why people must be going back consistently is because, especially on the West Coast, there isn't a platform of No Jumper size that's hiring as many people as they hire, that kind of puts out as much content as they put out, and that also pays. Because a lot of those guys from the West Coast, for whatever reason, especially some of the ex No Jumper kind of co-hosts who are affiliated, some of those kind of like, community guys, back on Fig guys, a lot of those guys have had issues with their own platform, and it kind of transpired a big issue with Big Pun, right? Pun in general, was that a lot of these guys who were complaining about how Adam 22 ran his business, when they started running their own platform, very soon their own friends started calling them out for not paying. So a lot of the quote-unquote black-owned platforms on the West Coast, especially when it comes to the hip-hop stuff, they don't pay people. Or if they do pay, they pay them a measly sum, or they just treat them like shit. So I was of the theory, I had the thought in my head that, most likely the reason why people keep putting up with Adam 22's bullshit is because he's the only big platform out there that's really doing bits, and he also pays, and he probably pays on time, and also well. That's basically the explanation. And you know what? I've been proven right. My theory has been proven somewhat right, because for whatever reason, Lush's on and off girlfriend Germ decided to post images, screenshots of Lush's bank transfers to prove how much No Jumper pays Lush. Because I guess Lush one is one of the co-hosts on No Jumper who's having a bit of a breakdown. He's having a relapsing. He's addicted to drugs. He's banging his head. He's a mess, right? He's a whole fucking mess. And his girlfriend, who's kind of like, also I think involved in that stuff, but doesn't really like to admit it, she's kind of airing him out on the social media. She's also blaming Adam 22 and alleging that this guy is buying the drugs from No Jumper, and No Jumper are purposely keeping him drugged up because he's more entertaining and crazy, but the drugs he's being given are laced with fentanyl. Sorry, it's all crazy. But in the midst of all this craziness, Germ decided in her infinite wisdom, she decided to post a screenshot of all the transfers that Lush has received from No Jumper LLC. And this is Lush, right? This is Lush. Fair enough, he's a somewhat intelligent sounding guy. He's got a lot of history in hip hop and stuff, blah, blah, blah. But when he's not fucked up, really, he's not, I don't know. He's not like an A-star drawer in my personal opinion. He's there, he does his thing, but whatever. Lush, even in his current state, as of just recently, was getting paid $4,000 minimum per month by No Jumper. They were paying Lush on the last day of the month at least $4,000 to sit and co-host on No Jumper. Now, the first thing that jumped to mind was that explains why people put up with fucking Adam 22's nonsense. He probably overpays a little bit and he pays on time. These payments look like they are done on an actual payroll, people that pay. It's not even like you have to send an invoice. These payments look like they're getting invoices, but they're getting sent, they're getting sent without any real delay. There's no real long, like even December, look at December, you get like they're getting sent, boom, 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 boom. But I also thought to myself, I wonder if this is one of the reasons why a lot of these No Jumper guys never really divulge their pay. Whenever they get into a beef with Adam 22 online, and it's time for them to start dropping receipts and to be snarky and be like, "Oh, you don't even pay me," They never post anything. Now we know why. Because they all do get paid. So all the complaints that they have are just them being bitches. All the complaints that they have about Adam 22 how he runs his business is just them wanting Adam to run the business like they would run it. When it's like, no, that's his business. He might be a shitty boss, right? He might be a bit of a shitty human being, but if he wants to run his business the way he wants to run his business, you have to kind of put up with it. If you want to work there. If not, go somewhere else or make your own business. But this just goes to show you why people put up with Adam 22's nonsense. Now, don't get me wrong. LA is an expensive place. I know 4,000 is not going to go that far. But still, I didn't think Lush was getting $4,000 a month. I had no idea Lush was getting $4,000 a month at No Jumper. I thought it'd be less. I thought it'd be in the hundreds, maybe like $2,000, $1,000 max. I did not believe. And imagine also he's working what? I'd say he's probably working less than 20 hours a month, innit? If I had to guess, he's probably working less than 20 hours a month. If I had to guess, I think he's working less than 20 hours a month, and he's not like an A-star player, in my opinion. He's not like a house phone back in the day. He's not a T-Rail. He's not an AD, how they were back in the day. This is like a guy that's not the most reliable with all his drug addictions. Has a bit of an annoying, kind of lazy personality. I don't know. For him to get paid $4,000, that's decent. And again, like I said, it kind of explains why people put up with Adam 22. It kind of explains why people put up Adam 22. But Joan's caption's weird, right? She says, how much does Adam pay his top host? I mean, I really make more than this a month, and I'm just a paiser with a labor job, a failed music career. Bro, shut the fuck up before I show people you a slave driver. How much you pay him for 24-hour streams for $400. I don't know. I think if you have like a set, that's where Adam 22 is a bit of a piece of shit. Most likely he has a set salary in place for Lush. That's why the money's all kind of the same-ish. Most likely Lush makes a set amount a month. And knowing Adam 22 and how he is, he probably then says to him, if you do a 24-hour stream, that doesn't mean I have to pay you more. You still get the same amount because you're contracted, you know? So I think that's what he kind of does to kind of get around not paying Lush more than he probably should get for 24-hour streams. But 24-hour streams are also kind of pointless as well. After the first 12 hours, what of note is being said? What of value is being said? I don't think any host is doing a good job after 12 hours. It's just too long to be up making that type of content. So yeah, I find it funny. I just find it funny how these guys will try and dunk on Adam and say, yeah, look, you only pay this guy this amount of money. And the money he's been paid is way more than he probably deserves to get paid for the job that he does. And it also doesn't account for how much time he works there. Because he probably works there probably less than 20 hours a week, I'd say. In terms of, forget the 24-hour stream, in terms of actually being on camera, giving hot takes and opinions, it probably equals up to about less than 20 hours. And he's getting $4,000 a month. Fair play to Lush, man. Fair fucking play to Lush. Get it how you get it, Lush. Get it how you fucking get it, Lush. Talking about getting it how you get it, can we speak briefly? Can we speak very, very briefly about the Nike sneakers app? Have you guys heard? The whole Nike sneakers app might be in jeopardy. The Nike sneakers app, which is an app, if you don't know, where essentially you can buy limited edition shoes via this Nike app. You basically it's kind of like a social media, it kind of works like a bit of social media app. There's a feed on there. You see a calendar of shoes when they're about to drop. You can notify yourself when they're going to drop, and they usually drop out on a set day, a set time. I think it's at 8 a.m. forgot what the time is specifically. It'll notify you when they're available to purchase. You log onto the app and you'll try and buy them, enter the raffle, whatever it may be, and try and buy these sneakers. Now they've turned it kind of used to just be like a straight up platform to buy limited edition sneakers. Now they've kind of changed sneakers app into a bit of a social media platform where they have like a feed where Nike will push out little kind of videos with collaborators and local artists and whatever, and brands who they're working with, and just people in general in the sneaker community. And they've put those up on there as well. Now, unfortunately, a lot of those things you can't really see anywhere else. I don't know why they did that. If I'm not mistaken, they even had like a sneakers show where they did like, you know, basically talking about sneakers and shit, podcast type of thing. But you can only access it if you're on the app. I don't think they ever made those clips available or those episodes available on like YouTube or to watch someone like an Instagram reel or something. You just had to be logged in the app. So it was a little bit of a it was a bit of a walled garden. it was a bit of a walled fucking garden. They're a bit weird. Anyway, still decent app anyway in general. I think the first pair I ever hit on there was maybe the Virgil Abloh off-white Jordan 4s in it. Sorry, Jordan 1s. The fucking Chicago, Chicago colorway. I'm pretty sure that's the first time I ever hit on a raffle was via sneakers to buy the fucking off-white Jordan 1s back in the day. But anyway, the news here, courtesy of Kicksfinder, is that they have fired a bunch of people at the Nike sneakers app. And people are wondering whether or not Nike are going to completely fold the app. Now, I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's ever going to happen because there's just too much. Like, I checked my thing and I've been on there for ages. There's just too much data. And data is really valuable nowadays. And I don't necessarily see Nike deciding to just end the app and then just have those people that were all, you know, willingly gave their data to fucking Nike sneakers app just gone. They're not going to do that. They're probably going to rebrand it, reskin it into something else. But I don't ever see a solution or a scenario where they completely just kill the app. It just won't happen. But it is kind of sad to see how many people they've let go from that sneakers team. Because, you know, imagine a lot of these people probably worked on the app from its very, very beginning. It says here, a former employee on sneakers app team said last week that the company had let go of nearly 30% of its staff. That's crazy. But to be fair, again, how many staff do you actually need to run sneakers app? How many staff members do you need to run the sneakers app? Really and truly. That's the real question. That's the real fucking question. A lot of these places have a real bloated employee base. Now, I've worked in a lot of like startups, a lot of like tech companies. The real problem here is that it's kind of like a weird system. Once you raise like money, once you raise investment, once you raise funding, you're kind of obliged, you kind of are told you have to hire more people. And I think part of the reason why you have to hire, if I'm not mistaken, is that it kind of lends to your valuation. It kind of allows the investors to also have a quicker way to get their money back because they can leverage the fact that you have more employees, you're growing as a company, you're expanding into different regions as a reason as to why you're on the up and up, which then might get other people to invest, which might allow the investors to get their money back quickly or quicker. That's the reason why a lot of people do that. But then in the end, it's really fucked up because when people end up getting fired, the first people to get let go are the people that were hired under the guise of like adding more value to the company. It's all a fucking racket. It's all a fucking scam. There probably should be more lean operations out there. There probably should be more tech companies that have at max 50 people. I don't even think you need that many, especially unless you're handling crazy amounts of volume and data and whatever. For the most part, especially with the advent of AI, most tech companies could get away with running the whole thing with like 50 to 100 people. But they go out their way to hire thousands and thousands, sell them false dreams, and then once the company hits a little bit of turbulence, once they come across a little fucking pebble on the street, they fucking buckle and then they fire everybody who they just hired. Crazy work. But anyway, this is a former employee talking on LinkedIn, by the way, airing out all the shit on fucking LinkedIn. Stacy Davino. Sneakers was a real pivotal dream of my career and it just died. The org and the people behind sneakers are obliterated yesterday. So she's just coming out firing. She doesn't give a fuck. And I've been there before. Once you get fired, you don't give zero fucks. You're just going to expose everything. We solved real problems. We solved scale problems that no one in the industry was solving while bringing a genuine voice, citing the culture of the street with sports lifestyle, and bringing light to the unique stories that resonated. Let's relax a little bit. Every Saturday morning was a DDoS attack where sometimes 100 million users would try getting their hands on of the 5. By the way, that's why I don't really rate Nike in that much. Why is there so little shoes? Sneaker culture has become like a global industry, has become a multi-billion-dollar, probably trillion-dollar industry. Everyone knows what a Yeezy is. Everyone knows what a collab is. Everyone knows what a Hypebeast is. Why don't they just make more shoes to satisfy demand? Why are you having 1 million people logging in with only 5,000 pairs of stock? This artificial scarcity thing that they do is annoying, it's lame, and it doesn't make any sense. No one believes that you can only make 1,000 because there's not enough yarn or material for this, and no one believes that. Just make more shoes, satisfy fucking demand. At least half the way. Maybe not all the way, at least half. Fucking hell. 5,000 pairs, and there's like 100 million people accessing. All of this is driven by the whole org, which innovated and voted on what we would build next. and even special and even physical, so special physical product development to leverage that creativity across boundaries. I started on sneakers the Monday after the Friday that they had let go of nearly 30% of the company. Oh my god, that is brutal. I had started on sneakers the Monday after the Friday that they had let go of nearly 30% people. You know what I found really interesting, by the way? I was watching a video about what was it? Yeah, about layoffs in the AI, layoffs in tech companies, and specifically layoffs in tech companies where they were laying off people due to the advances of AI and basically not needing a bloated kind of employee base to kind of do the job that one AI agent can do, right? And what the person was saying on this particular TV, I think it was like a channel called Tech Report or something, right? What they were saying was that they're now finding that in a lot of these companies, there's actually quite a lot of high turnover with staff and just like low morale. Because I never thought about this, but imagine you're working in a company and there's like mass layoffs because of AI. The people that stay, of course, they're happy that they've stayed and they've still got a job, but they're also not going to be in the greatest mood. They're going to be on tenterhooks too. They're going to be a bit down the dumps too. They're going to be, dare I say, even depressed too, because some of their friends have left and they know the writing's on the wall for them, which I never thought about. Like, actually, people don't think too much about, like, okay, cool, say you want to let go of a bunch of people, you want to fucking half your fucking wage bill, you want to save a bunch of money, but you don't realize that saving that money, you're actually costing yourself way more money down the line, because a bunch of people are either going to quit, they're going to start doing shitty work in general because they've been, they've been demoralized because you fired one of their best friends and shit. So firing, especially mass layoffs, aren't a fix-all. They're not an easy fix-all like people think they are. They're not. They don't fix everything. Sometimes it can actually make things worse. Sometimes it can actually make things worse. It continues here. I had started on the sneakers the Monday after the Friday that they had let go of nearly 30% of the company. Sneakers transformed and saved Nike. Allegedly, really? Sneakers saved Nike, really? Nike's on the brink of collapse, but the app is what saved Nike. The innovative spirit, the magic in a bottle. Nike failed to keep that investment in the people who made it happening when completely changed and how digital e-commerce can work and the nature of the brand storytelling. But to be fair, I've heard this before as well. I've heard like behind the scenes, Nike don't really like empower people to do great work. We see a lot of shit stuff and we blame the designers, but a lot of the times it's just a corporation. It's just a hierarchy there. Doesn't really allow people that work there who are super talented to do their best work, so they're just forced to kind of clock in and clock out and go through the motions, which must be depressing because everyone's dream, especially growing up when you're into streetwear, sneakers and stuff and design, was to work at Nike at one point, but now it's turning into such a dead place. I don't think there's many kids, especially Gen Z kids nowadays, that give a fuck about working for Nike, and that used to be the it place to be, the cool place to be, basically the sportswear version or sportswear and sneakers version of fucking Apple, Now it's all changed. Last paragraph here. I can't wait to watch or even be a part of the future documentaries and stories from those days. For now, let's try to bring all of these fine people who were affected to new homes to leverage their craft, style, and perspective with brighter lights in our industry. I don't know. I think this goes to speak to the general malaise around Nike. I think Nike have definitely fumbled the bag. They fumbled the ball. Like, you go out nowadays in most metropolitan cities, in most rural towns, and just look at the kids. Try and look at the kids who look like they're under the age of 25. Try and look at what the kids who are under 25 are wearing. They're not wearing Nikes, man. It's actually kind of puzzling to me, especially when you go to because I go to clubs and shit. So I'm seeing and interacting with a lot of kids who are maybe a little bit younger than I am. And it's always so interesting to see the lack of Nikes. It's really evident. Like, the first thing you'll notice is generally a lack of Jordans, especially with some of these younger kids. You see more Jordans in the hoods, but with non-hoodie looking young kids, they're not really wearing Jordans. Then they're definitely not wearing Nikes. They're wearing Asics. They're wearing fucking New Balance. They're wearing Mizunos. They're wearing fucking Crocs. They're wearing, like Pumas, Adidas. They're wearing anything but fucking Nike. They don't give a fuck. You see the person wearing a Nike shoe, most likely they're older. They're a millennial type. Gen Z types don't wear fucking Nikes. They don't give a fuck. Yeah, when I was growing up, Nike was the coolest brand ever. You couldn't chat shit to Nike. They just had that aura, had that kind of vibe about them. You know, it didn't really matter what they did, what they made. It just kind of hit because of the brand name, brand recognition. And I'm starting to wonder now if a lot of it came down a little bit to like how they treated creatives and shit, and if that maybe kind of resonated and kind of like bled into the shoes. Because I remember the most iconic thing for me that I kind of started looking at Nike weird was like when they like fumbled the relationship with like Ye. When Ye was there doing his shoes and Nike refused to give him royalties, essentially, which then led him to go to Adidas to create the Easy line there. But if I'm not mistaken, the whole reason why Ye fell out with Nike was because they refused to give him any sort of like, you know, percentages, any sort of like shares, whatever, nothing. Because I think even to this day, Nike view celebrities not as athletes, but like as like brand ambassadors, collaborators. So they don't really respect or recognize the influence and the impact they could do for the shoe sales in general going forward. Or I've heard another story where there's a theory that says that Nike have basically always regretted how good of a deal they gave Michael Jordan. This is what, again, who knows this is true, but I remember because, you know, I was in the scene. I kind of worked for Nike for a little bit, you know, working in that store I was in and kind of doing some marketing stuff with them back in the day. I had a bunch of friends who were working there before. I knew some people who had kind of like in higher up positions. And I remember hearing this one story, which I don't know if this is true, so take it with a pinch of salt. But one of the reasons why Nike are kind of shit with like collaborators and like, you know, they don't give them good deals. They give them they obviously pay them, but they don't give them any sort of percentages or anything. They don't usually try and work and help them to work on a fucking signature shoe from the ground up and shit, blah, 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 blah. One of the reasons why I've heard that is the case is because Nike till this day regret the deal they gave to Michael Jordan. If I'm not mistaken, isn't there a rumor that Michael Jordan gets like a pound, a dollar, a cent or something crazy of every Jordan sale? So just think of how many Jordans are sold throughout time. So allegedly he gets something like $1 of every Jordan sold. I don't know, whatever it is. Nike have always regretted that sort of deal they gave to Jordan, because obviously he's collected fucking crazy amounts of money from Nike off of the back of the Jordans that he kind of wore earlier in his career, or just in general, using his name and likeness. And then I've heard another story that is similar, relating to Stefan Janoski, the guy that had those incredible, very underrated now. I think maybe people now kind of change their mind, but I think those fucking, you remember those kind of Nike SB boat shoes? Let's see, is this Stefan Janoski? So I'm saying the right name, right? Stefan Janoski. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, he was another one too that allegedly Nike regretted giving a really good shoe deal to. Because if I'm not mistaken, he had one of maybe the first kind of new era, kind of new gen shoes made with Nike from the ground up. It wasn't a retro, it was a shoe that he worked on with Nike together with their designers. And if I'm not mistaken, they also gave Stefan Janoski, the skateboarder who obviously made these, a really good Michael Jordan-esque deal. And then I think eventually later on down the line, they bought him out of the contract, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm sure they gave him royalties that were crazy high. He was making loads of great money on it. And then eventually Nike ended up kind of like buying him out of his contract because, you know, they're just paying him too much money. So I think that's the reason. So I've been told that that's the reason why Nike are so shit with giving collaborators like royalties and having them really on board and really invested. Because think about it, if you're Ye, if you're even Jerry Lorenzo, you're not going to sign up. You're not going to be happy with just like doing a one shoe. You're going to want to do loads of shoes, but you're also going to want to make it worthwhile for yourself. And also, you know how much money these motherfucking companies make. You want to get something too for the work they did, because you know these shoes are going to be selling for years and years and years, soon, way after you fucking pass. And most likely, knowing how Nike are, they're probably going to retro it and sell it for fucking cheap anyway. So you want to get what you want to get out of, but they refuse to do that because of those deals they signed. The designers obviously refuse to take those deals because they can go to ASICS, they can go to New Balance and get deals where they get a flat payment, and where they get deals where they get a portion of the fucking sales. So why wouldn't you take it? Especially nowadays, where that, because back in the day, Nike had the monopoly on the industry. Because if you had a collaboration with Mizuno, if I had a brand called fucking Turtle, and I collaborated with Mizuno, I collaborated with Umbro, I collaborated with fucking Diadora, with Elise, people would be laughing at me and my brand Turtle would be like, oh shit, you're shit, your brand shit, you couldn't get a Nike deal, ha 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 ha. You'd be kind of shamed for taking those deals. But now that Nike has lost its kind of core cachet, a lot of these brands don't mind going to those other sportswear brands to do collaborations, because it doesn't look like you're like not cool anymore, because Nike's not cool, and you're basically wearing anything but Nike makes you look cool. So it doesn't really affect you negatively like it did in the past. So Nike have lost that ability to kind of shame people into working with them, into not working with their competitors, because their competitors are fucking terrible. No one gives a fuck. No one gives a fuck. And again, like I said, it's so scary if you go out to any popping London high street, especially during the weekend when people are out and stuff, and look at the shoes that they're wearing. Very, very rare are their Nikes. Very, very, very rare. So Nike really fumbled with that. Nike really fucking fumbled with that. I can tell you that for sure. But there's actually a couple articles here where they kind of divulge some more information here. Let's double check and see what they're saying. One article is, let's do this one actually. Let's do this one. Courtesy of Hypebeast. Shifting the system. What Nike's 1,400 tech layoffs mean for the future of the sneakers app. Digital landscape at the swoosh is undergoing a massive and painful reconfiguration in its second round of major job cuts in 2026. Again, I never considered that until I watched that tech report video. How weird it must be, like, because I've always been on the wrong end of tech layoffs, right? When I want people that gets called into the office and like, yep, you have to go. But I've never been in a position where I've seen my friends all getting up and getting into the office one by one and then being led out by security. I never considered how that must feel for the people that get left behind, for the ones that keep their jobs. Because when you get fired in that kind of way, when it's like mass tech layoffs, you can't help but feel a little bit pissed off that you got let go and your friend didn't, you know? You can't help but feel a little bit like, you know what I mean, be a bit angry. But I never considered just how weird it must feel for the people that get left. Because some of them also know the writing's on the wall for them. You know, they're not special. It's just a numbers thing, right? Or whatever. They also know the end is going to come soon for them. So the next day at work must be such a weird environment. Because everyone, you know, less people are there. Your friend that sat across from you isn't there anymore. Their desk is cleared now. Or the desk is completely gone. I never considered how weird it must be for the people that actually stay. Or that actually get to keep their jobs. Yes, you're happy you still got a job to live and shit, to pay for your life. But it's also kind of bittersweet. Nike announced the layoffs of approximately 1,400 employees worldwide. While the footwear giant has experienced several workforce reductions recently, this latest wave is unique. It's aggressively targeting the brand technology and global operations divisions. For sneakerheads, the most alarming development is the reported gutting of the team behind the infamous sneakers app. Are we really gutted though about it? Everyone kind of gets L's on sneakers. I think most people, myself included, don't give a fuck. Nike's always giving you fucking L's on the sneakers app. I'm not about to care about people who give me the L's. Whoever was in charge of creating that fucking graphic, that annoying fucking graphic when you don't hit fucking the shoes on sneakers app. Yeah, I mean, like, who's laughing now? Nah, I'm joking. But you know what I mean. I don't think people are going to be crying because people from sneakers app got fired. Come on. For sneakers heads, the most alarming development is a reported gutting of the team behind the infamous sneakers app, signaling a major strategic pivot in how Nike plans to handle most coveted digital releases moving forward. They just don't need to do all that shit with the app. It could exist mainly on a website easily. It doesn't need to be all that hullabaloo on the app. It doesn't really need that. It can exist on a fucking landing page, you know? You don't need to have a whole app built for it, really. Especially with the whole social media part of it. It's a little bit excessive and unnecessary. But hey, because if you're doing the social media part of it, you have to hire the host, you have to hire the camera. Like, it's a lot of work that goes into it. So I think they're just probably cutting costs, and they're probably gonna make a stripped back sneakers on fucking desktop that can just be used on your fucking browser on your phone or whatever. That's what I fear. The sweeping layoffs represent just under 2% of Nike's global workforce and are the cornerstone of the brand's win now turnaround strategy. Driven by CEO Elliot Hill, the chief executive officer, honestly, that's like a death knell, innit? If you work in a company and they hire a new CEO, start making your adjustments just in case. Start making your adjustments so at least you can be prepared, so you're not like shocked when you get let go. Because Jesus Christ, whenever new CEOs come in, that's the first thing they do: cut jobs. They don't try to improve a product or the services. The first thing they do is just try and cut the wage bill. Jesus Christ. In an internal memo, Alagarismi noted that the brand aims to consolidate the technology efforts into two main hubs in Oregon and India. Of of course. However, it is the profound impact of the sneakers platform that the sneaker community is buzzing. Following widespread speculation, Nike confirmed that it's officially combining Nike Sneakers app with the main Nike app engineering team across the unified vision. So that means, again, like I said, the app will be available on desktop and browser as per usual. It won't be no special thing. It won't be no hideout thing. It'll just be what it is. While Nike officially started, the merger will reduce the handoffs and driven efficiency to deliver a seamless shopping experience. Insiders' accounts paints a bleaker picture. Former Nike employee, we saw it already. This aggressive reconstruction points to the fundamental shift in Nike's direct-to-consumer philosophy. For years, the brand was a poster child for building a massive proprietary digital ecosystem in-house. Now, facing an increasingly competitive market against rising brands and aggressive reducing its internal tech headcount, Nike might be preparing to lean on external e-commerce or internalized or specialized raffle infrastructures provided by such as Shopify or EQL to handle the heavy DDoS level traffic of high level profile sneaker drops. As the settles of those 1,000 job cuts, the future of digital alert. So that's true. There is a possibility that they're just doing this to consolidate and to save money, and they're going to make a stripped down version of it available on the website. But it also could signal the end of like truly limited edition shoes. Maybe another part of it as well is that the drops aren't dropping the way they did. That could also be the case, because they're making it seem like, oh, we're working so hard, 10 million DDoS attacks. Maybe there's something to be argued that maybe some of these recent drops haven't generated the same type of kind of clicks throughs and engagement and whatever else it may be that did in the past. So that's making it harder to sell, you know. It's making it very obvious that it's not really working out when there's not as many people kind of, you know, trying to buy, alerts going off and shit, blah 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 blah. So that's one opinion courtesy of Hypebeast. There's another opinion here courtesy of the Business of Fashion that says why Nike Sneakers app isn't going anywhere. And like I said, I think mostly it's about data. There's just too much data on the app for them to just bin it. They're probably going to reskin it and call it something else, whatever, but you know, spiritually it won't go nowhere. Let's read the Business of Fashion. Big up Mike Sykes. Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Kicks You Wear. Let's continue. Cool. Here's where. Speculation about the future of Nike Sneakers app, the platform where the company releases its most limited edition, bubbled up over the weekend thanks to a viral LinkedIn post by Stacey Davino. Davino mourned the app, saying that the jobs of the org where people with sneakers were obliterated as part of the brand's recent layoffs in April. Following Davino's post, sneaker news site House of Heat reported that 90% of the team was nixed. 90%. Jesus Christ. So she was right then. That Stacey Davino woman was right, what she said. Following Davino's post, sneaker news site House of Heat reported that 90% of the team was nixed, and the source they spoke to guessed sneakers would end in 12 to 18 months. Makes sense. It makes sense. It's a bit of a pointless app now, especially if you're not got the drops to suffice or to make those kind of apps worthwhile. You might as well let it go and just do it online via Shopify and shit. Limited edition drops or whatever you're gonna do. Why this matters: the internet ran with this. Social chatter across various platforms will leave you to believe that Sneakers app is on those last legs, but I think that's jumping the gun. All of this has to be taken a grain of salt. Davino hasn't worked for Nike in years and surely wouldn't know the ins and outs of the car. Oh, come on, now come on. Even I haven't worked with Nike for years and I know some ins and outs that go on there. People talk in it. Like, goddamn, you can't have friends that just tell you things, or you can't read things between lines, or surmise things for this and that. Jesus Christ. Despite reports saying otherwise, it's also unclear how much of Sneakers' team has been cut. What they're saying, one thing that they did become abundantly clear to me in reading for Nike, is reaching Nike for comment, is that there are some fairly big changes happening for sneakers and across Nike digital platforms. Recent changes in Nike technology organization combined our Nike app and sneakers engineering teams into one, the company said in a statement. The brand's new tech team will also solely be in Oregon at the brand's main campus. So I guess they're trying to limit the amount of people that are working remotely in the tech team too. That makes sense. This new unified team combines the expertise of the engineers previously dedicated to sneakers with the team behind the Nike app, website, and the Nike by You, creating one team to better serve. I like how the corporate speak. You have to spin why you fire so many people. One unified team that combines the expert. I mean, like, it's really interesting. Corporate speak is always really funny. How do I make firing 90% of my workforce not sound cruel, heartless, and whatever else it may be? How do I make it sound like a good thing, you know? But yeah, RIP the sneakers app, man. Long live the sneakers app, but RIP the sneakers app. I think again, the shoes that they make or the stuff that they make in general doesn't really warrant the Nike app even existing. Let's be fair. The sneaker app doesn't really shouldn't really exist with the level of mediocre shoes we're getting nowadays. So I'm happy to hear that they are deciding to shelve it for the time being, absorb it with some other app as well going forward, because I think it's necessary. I truly do think it's necessary. I think this app has been around for too long. It's been collecting dust, doing absolutely jack shit. We need a change. We need a change. We need a change. That's just my opinion when it comes to this. That is just mine. It could be good if you just got great shoes again, right? If Nike went back to a drawing board instead of trying to figure out all these tricks and tips. Just start making new shoes. Just start making new cool shoes that people want to wear. They don't. They rely on fucking retros like most companies, and here we are. Here we fucking are. Here we fucking are. Talking about here we are. This has already dropped, so I'm a bit late with this news. But I went to mention it anyway because it was a pretty hard and very unexpected collaboration. Big up Salem, big up Jack Donaghy, big up Salem, big up Jack Donaghy. They did a collaboration with Supreme that I thought came out of nowhere, came out of the blue. And it also features fucking Skrilla in the fucking lookbook as well, which I thought was equally random. But the execution of it, the final result was really fucking good. Let's go to Supreme. It says Supreme and Salem. Salem is an American musical group formed in northern Michigan in 2006 by Jack Donaghy, John Holland, and former members Heather Marlett. Salem brings a distinctly dark strain of atmospheric electronic music, weaving together varied influences including Houston chopped and screwed, Chicago juke, Reba heavy shoegaze, experimental drone, noise, and classical music. Salem's earliest releases consist of zip files that are distributed freely on web forums. I remember that era. Supreme has worked with Salem on a new collection for spring 2026. So again, I thought this came out of the blue. I had not what? Salem collaborating with Supreme? What the fuck is this about? But then it also makes sense. If you've ever been to the Supreme store, you know that they love to play really loud and noisy music. And Salem make a lot of really loud and noisy music. If I had to describe Salem's sound, it would sound very loud and noisy, right? They like making it. So it makes sense why kids or the guys who work in Supreme who like to have the volume up to the max to the point where you can't even hear yourself think would be into Salem, which might have piqued, James Jabier's interest. And now quickly they're collaborating. But the products they did together, this fucking jacket, so fucking hard. Look at the logo on the back as well. There's fucking Skrilla. Looking actually the most sober I've ever seen. Look, I'm not gonna lie. He's always looking like he's super fucked up. Bigger fucking Skrilla. Good rapper as well. But he's always looking like he's really messed up. But he actually looks pretty good there. He's also got the same jacket there in red, black and red, and that color obviously is the best one. This kind of navy blue with the grey stripes. This is definitely the best colorway. But red one's also not too shabby. The logo on the back is fucking amazing. Especially is that a pill? That's a pill, right? Yeah, it looks like a pill. Makeshift pill down the back of the jacket. The reversible, or no, the hoodie with the lined plaid on the inside is fucking phenomenal. It's fucking phenomenal. This Salem hoodie with the plaid lining. I don't think it's actually reversible. You probably could wear it reversible if you wanted to. I don't think it actually is physically reversible, but it does look fucking great. It comes in balls like red, black, I think in navy. There's also a matching fucking t-shirt there. So a t-shirt that also matches a bit of the logo on the back of the jacket. But the t-shirt has this really cool illustration design actually. Really fucking, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like an airbrush. Kind of like an airbrush design, but not really. It obviously works better on the white. It comes in the black as well, but I think it works better on the white. Also, Skrilla's got a great chain on, by the way. An amazing necklace. I love that necklace, whatever he's done with that. I don't know where he got that from. I don't know if it's home or something, but that necklace is fucking banging. But these jackets are fucking sick. They remind me a little bit of didn't Supreme they made like a bunch of starter jackets like this in the past that were like different teams. I think the iconic one's like a black and yellow one. I'm pretty sure Supreme did the version of this sort of like starter type jacket back in the day. I know Champion did a version of this, but all I remember is like most vintage shops in London, especially in Brick Lane, they always have one or two of these in the store, and they're always super expensive. These are the kind of things that I think they've basically all been bought out. I think all the vintage quarter zip fucking starter fucking pullover things have all been bought out. I don't think you can find any anymore. I think every kid has. I think I've had a couple of them over the years, of different various teams and just whatever different various sizes that you get over the years. So this particular style has been fucking killing it. The t-shirt obviously comes in black as well, but I think the white one definitely hits better. There's also another t-shirt there. The new era hat's also kind of slightly hard. The new era hat is actually kind of hard. If it's still available tomorrow, I think I might have to purchase. I'm not gonna lie. The new era hat's actually still kind of hard, especially in that fucking black. There's a black colorway too. That's, I think, is meant to be the Florida or whatever colors. I'm not too sure if I'm not mistaken. There's also grip socks, which, you know, a bit sus considering how Jack Donaghy is. We got Jack Donaghy. I'm not too sure why they included grip socks on their fucking collaboration. I'm sure there's a very let's dare I say sexual reason why they're selling socks with like stars and with rubber grippy stars at the bottom of them that also say Salem and Supreme. But yeah, but the jacket is fucking great. The half zip stadium jacket is fucking phenomenal. Detachable hoodie as well, but you obviously got to wear the hood. You obviously have to wear the hood. And I think it's a bit oversized as well. But that navy and grey colorway is the one. The black and red's okay, but I think the navy and grey one's definitely the one. It also comes, again, you got the zip up hoodie, which I said it's not fully reversible, but if you wanted to wear it reversible, you probably could. I think the arch logo on the front is really nice as well. I like what they're doing Supreme in general with the kind of like distressing on some of the hoodies now. I feel like this is something they're doing quite commonly going forward. Very rarely do they make like brand new kind of like starched, you know, fucking hoodies. A lot of their hoodies have like a bit of an acid wash, a bit of staining, a bit of something, you know, just to kind of give them a bit of a lived in, softer kind of appeal, I think. So well done for them for that wash. But yeah, that navy and blue, but the one I like, I think, is the black. Yeah, that's the one I like. I think this black one, black with a red lining, with a red plaid lining on the inside, is fucking phenomenal. Only problem is that I prefer it if it was two-way zip, but it's not. I think it's just a one-way zip, because then you could wear it and you can kind of show off a bit of the inside as you're walking down, do you know what I mean? But it's not a two-way zip, unfortunately. And then there's also the t-shirt, and also available in black and white. But yeah, but that new era is kind of hard. Salem on one side, Supreme on the other. The hat is kind of hard, especially in the black. Yeah, that color there. I'll definitely get that. If that's still available tomorrow, I'll definitely go and cop that. That's a fucking sick jacket, sick hat. And there's also the fucking, what they called? They called them hospital socks. I call them fucking blowy socks, but they're called hospital socks according to Supreme. And again, most of it's already dropped, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's all sold. I think the stadium jacket and stuff is definitely sold out, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check and see what they do. You go, oh no, you got shop view all, don't you? You got view all, and yeah, all sold out. Boom, stadium jacket sold out, of course. The flannel hoodie thing, the hoodie definitely sold out, right? Yeah, all sold out in all colors. Unfortunately, the t-shirt available. The t-shirt sold out too. The jersey sold out too. I wanted that jersey so hard. I'll probably have to get this on resale now, but I'm definitely gonna get this year for sure. I'm definitely gonna get this. And this panel thing is just ay. This might be one of the hardest jerseys I've ever seen in my life, ever in life, ever. It combines so many of the world jerseys I've had over the years, especially the one that Ace of Clubs one, which I had in black, if I'm not mistaken, before. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal work there by Supreme. So yeah, most of the stuff is sold out already, but just wanted to give Salem a heads up or a little nod for the great work, because I thought this is a great collection. The hat's still available though. See, niggas don't have vision. The hat's available for some reason. Niggas don't have fucking vision. What's the brim? Is the brim another color, another material? And I thought the brim was like leather or something, but I'd say no. Poly New Era 50 with embroidered on the front, sides and back. Okay, cool. So yeah, 56 quid. Definitely might check that out as well. So big up Salem, big up Supreme. Great collaboration. Very unexpected for me. Very unexpected for me. But I felt like they killed it. Very unexpected, but I felt like they killed it. Very unexpected, but I felt like they killed it. Talking about killing it. Can we talk a little bit about All Points East? For some reason, All Points East came out of fucking nowhere and gave us like another lineup for the festival lineup they already gave us ages ago. I felt like I saw this lineup ages ago before, but for some reason it's been revised. And now the new lineup for fucking All Points East features fucking Tyler, Creator, and all these other people. Like, what the fuck's going on? I thought the lineup was already released before. I guess maybe they're doing another. I don't know what the hell's going on, but anyway, I don't care. I'm just gonna comment it anyway because the lineup is fucking banging. So All Points East is happening on Friday the 28th and Saturday the 29th of August in Victoria Park here in London. Friday the 28th, Saturday the 29th, Victoria Park in London will be All Points East. Now, the kind of disclaimer I'd say before you get excited about the lineup is fucking sick. Tyler Creator headlining. I'm assuming when it says Tyler Creator headlining, I think it means headlining both days because his name is split across both lineups. Because it's got Friday on one side, Saturday on the other side, and Tyler Creator's name, it covers both sides. So I'm assuming they mean he's going to be headlining both nights. Now, the only word of caution I'll say, because Victoria Park's like one of the loveliest parks that we have here in London. It's like in Bow, Hackney-ish type of area. The park is also very centrally located in a way, so whichever exit you come out of, you can get to different parts of London. There's loads of nice places to go eat around there, great pubs around there, great transport links to go home. Great little park. The only problem is with Victoria Park, it's right in the middle of residential housing. It kind of sits like it's kind of covered on whatever side by residential housing, which makes the sound, the volume, one of the shittiest volumes ever you see in a festival in London. Now, I went to the All Points East many years ago. Maybe it's changed because I went to All Points East many years ago. But the last time I went to fucking All Points East, the sound was so fucking bad I left halfway through. Because if you don't know, in terms of festivals in London, if your festival is held in a park that's next to a residential area, those areas usually have a lot of sway with the local council, and they can get rules put in place, laws and shit that prevent a festival, any type of live event, from having the volume of the music exceed a certain level of decibels. And usually it's really, and when I mean low, I mean like low to a point where the only way you can physically actually even hear anything is if you go right to the front. And most, no, but I'm not sure about you, but the whole joy of going to a festival is that you can literally sit on the ground anywhere on the fucking festival field and hear the music. The whole joy of it is not to be like you're going to like a gig somewhere in a venue, in an arena, you have to run to the front. No, the festival you should, in all intents and purposes, I think a great festival is that you can still hear who's playing on stage if you're at the bar. Not that you have to be next to the fucking, right up to the stage to hear anything. So that's what makes it a little bit difficult. Because the local council, what Victoria Park doesn't play, they always play for the residents, and for the most part the sound has to be super lowered to make those guys happy. If they complain too much, the whole festival gets locked off. So you kind of have to appease them, and they kind of know they have the power over you, so they kind of stunt on you and shit. So that's the only thing I'd say as a word of caution. If you're gonna go to All Points East, just be aware the sound ain't gonna be as good as other festivals you might have been to around Europe or even in England, like fucking Junction 2, which is under some motorway, but it's also far away from residential areas, so they can kind of go crazy with the volume. Similar to Fold. Fold is also in an area where there's loads of like postal services and all this malarkey, so no residents, they can kind of do what they want. So be careful, be very wary of All Points East. It's not all it's cracked up to be sometimes, but the lineup is fucking sick. So 2026 lineup is said here. Tyler, so it says the bios or the caption says Tyler Creator All Points East, 2 days, 2 different lineups. Great. So Tyler Creator is headlining both days, Friday the 28th and Saturday the 29th. On the Friday you got Rex Orange County, you've got Turnstile, Mariah The Scientist. The rest of the lineup you have got AG Club, BB Tricks, Clips are performing, Fake Mink is performing, Gene Davison is performing. Again, not Gene Davison, Gene Dawson, Larizzi, Lamb or Lim, someone called Love Spells, Mustard, I guess DJ Mustard, Paula V, Raven Lene, who I listened to quite a lot, good R&B artist. Rochelle Jordan, latest album wasn't all that, but she's still sick. Sam Sultan, Sade Olotolu, Sexy Red, Shady Nasty, Vince Staples, Yeba, and Zach Fox 6. Zach Fox DJing will be, I think Zach Fox DJing will be quite fun to go check out. Definitely go check out Tyler Creator, Turnstile, Mariah The Scientist. I'd like to go see. I'd like to go see what BB Tricks is like live. Fake Mink to see perform live, no thank you. Raven obviously I'd like to go see. Rochelle Jordan I'd like to go see as well, and maybe Sex Ray just for the vibes. Oh, and Vince Staples too is there. Then we've got on the Saturday, Tyler Creator obviously headlining again. Daniel Caesar, Baby Keem, and Dijon. Sick. I've not got into Dijon. I'm not gonna lie. I've not got into Dijon. I think Dijon is like the kind of music that Dijon's the kind of music that, you know, like mixed race girls, you know, like scene, you know, like hipster mixed race girls that only date white guys. You know what I mean? Like Dijon sounds like the kind of music that those kind of like FKA Twigs type of girls listen to, or the type of music that white girls listen to that I think black guys listen to. You know, like Brockhampton in a way. Not to be offensive, but you know how Brockhampton is. Like white people love Brockhampton, and some white people think if they listen to Brockhampton, it makes them cool black people. But I don't listen to Brockhampton. You know. So I think it's, I don't know. I've never really got the Dijon thing. I don't really get it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really fucking get the Dijon thing at all. Or however you pronounce it, Dijon, or Dijon, or Dojon, however you pronounce his name. I don't really for it. The only thing I rate him a lot for is his live shows. I saw his performance, a little bit of it at Coachella. The music wasn't for me, but I liked how he was bringing it on stage. I liked how he's being a showman, how he's performing, you know, giving it his all. I really do like that. So rest of Saturday night, you got Danny Brown, legend, DJ Gummy Bear. You got, who's that? You got Dove Ellis. You got Faye Webster, Ghostface Killer, Jimmy Legacy. Jesus, the Saturday's way better. Kamari, someone called, led by her, legend, or young legend. Mike is again that guy that raps with Sasha, isn't it? I think Mustard is gonna be there again. Natanya, Party of Two, Quadeca, Samara Sin, who I think is that white kid that raps really hard, right? If I'm not mistaken, I think, or is that? Or, no, Samara Sin is not the white. Samara Sin might be the mixed race girl with the curly hair that also is really good rapping. Sunshine, Bonzi or Benzi, and Sid from the internet, I think, also performing. So decent lineup. I'm not gonna lie, very surprised, man. Decent lineup, decent fucking lineup. Are tickets still available for All Points Eat? Let's see. Do they have tickets still available? So what kind of lineup? So who's Georgia? Is that the same date? So that, and there's a Georgia Smith. So this is something else completely. This is not. Huh. Oh, so it's the 21st. So there's a All Points. So this is a separate show. This is probably not All Points East. This is like a separate show. And there's this too. I'm gutted I'm gonna miss this, man. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gutted. I would love to have seen West Side Gun. Weird lineup though, isn't it? Like Georgia Smith, Thames, Nia Archives, Queen, Ira Star, O'Deal, West Side Gun. That's like, would you? I don't think could you ever see a lineup that had Destin Conrad and West Side Gun performing on the same lineup? Or Destin Conrad, West Side Gun, and Uncle Waffles and DJ EZ. It's a bit random, isn't it? It's like what connection do these guys have apart from being black? What connection do any people have apart from being of the darker complexion? It's kind of weird, but hey, what do I know? Yeah, big up Chris Mack in the stream chat. I see you. Well, go on, GG. Let's go to the Tyler Creator tickets. Actually, let's see how much they charging for that. How much they charging for that? So Tyler Creator night 1. Let's get tickets. How much is it going for? Night 1 general admission. Ooh. Okay, 2 days 160. London festivals are no joke, man. 160 plus booking fee. So I'm assuming it's like what, 165 probably. Let's double check the tickets. Let's see if that's actually available to purchase. Get away here, get away there. Scroll down. 2 days, right? See event. Can I see it, please? Give me the fucking listings. Are they available or not? Are they available or not? Select tickets or ground. What's that? Tickets. Get tickets for, yeah. Get tickets. Show me them, man. What the fuck is going on right now? These websites are so annoying when you go to, like, okay, ensuring your fan experience. Just show me the fucking price, please. How much it is with booking fees. Is that really that hard? So many fucking screens. So many fucking delays. Important information. Please note, 2-day tickets include entry to both shows. You'll receive a separate ticket for All Points East app for each individual day. Okay, that's fine. What's the price overall then? What is it? Oh, general admission. Okay, general admission. That's why. General admission is gone. That's probably why that we couldn't see anything. So I guess you have to buy tickets on resale. So I'm assuming the Tyler Creator probably sold out a lot of those tickets, which is pretty cool. Imagine having to pay VIP. You can fuck right off. VIP tickets to stand around in fucking Victoria Park. VIP tickets to stand around in Victoria Park is crazy. But you probably have to get the VIP. That's the thing. I would never pay for this because most of the time, I don't think. When's it was? There's only been one time in my life I've not been able to buy a ticket on resale. And if you wait around and you wait exactly, if you're really ballsy like I am, you wait on the actual day of the event. You just log on to fucking Ticketswap and you see a tsunami of people regretting buying tickets and wanting to get the cash or wanting to get some cash for it. And if you're cheeky, you can just offer, like, sometimes even on social media, if you find it, offer them a tenner and they'll fucking take it. Because if not, you know, their money goes to waste. They don't get no fucking refund anyway. So you can always get a ticket. There's no need to buy all this shit ahead of time. Sometimes people do it for, like, I've seen some people say they like to buy their own tickets, even if it's expensive on reset on fucking the websites and shit. Because for, what's that word called? There's a word when you're like a collector. So they want to basically have the ticket so it has their name on there. So that when they're making their scrapbook or whatever, or writing in their diary, they have a ticket that says their name and the date and shit. So, you know, for I guess time capsule purposes and shit. But if you just care about going like I do and documenting your experience while you're in there, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Just wait until the event happens, or go on Ticketswap. And you usually find a lot of tickets for a lot cheaper. And for the most part, a lot of these events anyway, people are just like hasty with their decisions to buy tickets. That's why I'm really anti buying tickets in advance. People love to, I think people just get a dopamine hit. It's all similar to, like, I remember this one story I remember reading about how a lot of the most famous or well-known kind of like long distance races or half marathons and shit around the world, on the day of the race there's a bunch of no-shows, allegedly. And the theory goes that the reason why there's still a bunch of, even though, like, let's say London Marathon's one of the most applied, subscribed fucking marathons ever. Oh, I missed that. I'd missed that, didn't I? I think I missed the application for next year, didn't I? I'm pretty sure, didn't I? You can't apply, didn't I? Oh, I think I did miss that, didn't I? God damn. I try and do it every fucking single year and I always never get in. Is it still available? Can you still go in for the ballot or not? I'm pretty sure it's better than that. Enter the ballot. Okay. London Marathon event. Can you just enter it normally though? Not a sponsored link, there you go. So I'm pretty sure it's done, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it's done. Date Sunday 27th. Can you enter the ballot or not? Or you got a place for your ballot? I'm pretty sure the ballot's closed. I'm pretty sure, anyway, doesn't matter. From what I remember reading an article that said that there's a bunch of no-shows at these fucking big races because people get the dopamine hit of getting in. So once you get your because I think a lot of these races have really cool like graphics and shit, and like fucking emails they send you, and they're usually cropped in a way, or they're sized in a way, they fit perfectly in a square, or they fit perfectly in Instagram stories. So when you share, oh my god, yes, I just applied and got in for the London Marathon, I just applied and got in for the Brighton one, for this one, for that one, you get your dopamine hit already. It kind of feels like you already ran it. You get all the likes, you get all the comments, you know what I mean? So a lot of people just don't end up showing up on the day because they already got their dopamine hit from all the engagement they got when they announced to the world that they were fucking doing the marathon, not even did it yet, you know? So that makes this things a little bit tricky. I don't even know why I brought that up. I'm not gonna lie. Why the fuck did I even bring that up? I don't know. Oh, for All Points East. I said for All Points East. So the reason why I said that for All Points East is because people like to buy tickets ahead of time, festivals and shit. It kind of gives them a sense of accomplishment. It kind of feels like you're already gone. You got a ticket. But when the date comes around, people just, and notoriously Londoners as well, people in the UK, we're just a flaky country. We're full of flaky people. So people will make plans ahead of time. They'll buy their tickets in fucking April, in fucking February for an August event, and then when it comes around, they don't want to go. Like, it's really crazy. Like big events, like you check on places that tickets up on the day of the event or the day before. There's like hundreds of tickets available for sale. Like, Jesus Christ, all you motherfuckers change your mind. All you motherfuckers woke up the day just like, nah, I can't bother to go. And most of it's not because of money, just because you just can't bother to go. I've been in the same situation. You buy a ticket ahead of time, it comes around, you're like, oh, I just can't bother. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, don't buy tickets ahead of time unless you really, really are desperate to get a ticket with your name on it for fucking reference and, you know, what you call it, archiving sensibilities, whatever. but you can always get a ticket if you really want to go. If you got the money ready, you really want to go, you're on it with your phone and shit, you can get a ticket anywhere. There's usually never a really sold out event. Even on the day, if they don't sell like tickets ahead of time, if you just turn up on a day on time, you can probably get in. Like if you didn't have a ticket and you went to All Points East, you went to, like if you didn't have no ticket and you just rocked up to All Points East and went, hey, I've got money, I want to buy a fucking pass for the weekend, they're not going to turn you away and say no passes. They're definitely going to give you one. They're definitely going to let you buy one. So there's never a scenario where you're not going to be able to get into something because you have the money, you know. We don't play like that over here. We don't play like that over here for the most part. But yeah, big up All Points East. Big up Blood Clot All Points East. You love to see it. You love to fucking see it. At least I do anyway. At least I do anyway. At least I do anyway. Okie dokie. Let's move on and let's talk about the main guy of the hour. The main guy of the hour. Chud the Builder, charged with attempted murder. You heard that right. Chud the Builder has been charged with attempted murder. I had no idea his story was going to end like this. On God, I had no idea it was going to end like this. I guess because I've been traumatized, let's say, by the videos I would watch a lot on the subreddit r/public freakout. One of my favorite subreddits of all time, where people just upload public freakouts, right? And I remember on many occasions watching videos of people, of men especially, engaging in mutual combat. Whoever is losing in that mutual combat, pulling out a gun, shooting the person they were just fist fighting with and losing to. And then weeks or months later, you find out that that person was acquitted, found not guilty, didn't serve a day in prison, nothing, and got away with it scot-free. And I remember it used to really scare me. I'm like, shit, man, I'd hate to live in America. What a scary place to live. Not only do they have guns in the first place, which is scary coming from the UK, but secondly, it seems as the type of place where if you get into a scrap, if you get into a fight, like a regular fight, it happens all the time, people fight all the time. If you get into a fight with another man and he feels like you're beating him up too much, he can stop you with lethal force. That used to just scare me, the thought of that. Like, huh? How do we have a conversation? How do we have like a little argument? Imagine you're having an argument with some guy in a fucking grocery store because he cut in front of you in the queue. You're having an argument with this guy in a grocery store. He says your mother's a whore. You say you hope his kids die, and you start butting heads. You start pushing each other, and the women are like, no, don't do that, don't do that. Go take it outside, guys. Take it outside. So like men that you are, you both walk outside with your chest up. Yeah? You're both probably in your mid 40s or early 50s. You're fucking pathetic, but you're doing it anyway. You both decide to walk out in front of the fucking store and throw down. Okay, let's have a fight then. Because each of you both feel disrespected, you want to now fight. I found it insane that in that scenario, if somebody pulls out a gun and shoots the other person, they could be found not guilty. Like I didn't understand that. So it's nice to see this play out the way it did for Chud, because if I'm not mistaken, the story goes he was outside the fucking courthouse doing his content, I guess, right, riling people up by dropping the hardy R. He walks up to a group of black guys he sees outside the courthouse, and I think they recognize him and tell him, just leave us alone, we don't want any none of your shit. He then tries to be like, oh no, I'm just coming up to you talking about my suit, man, my suit. They say fuck off, leave us alone. He walks away, and then I guess one of the black guys in the group decides to have a bit of a back and forth with him verbally, which then leads it to escalating into a fight. During the fight, for whatever reason, Chud the Builder felt like his life was in danger. He pulls out his gun, shoots the guy, I think in his leg and his stomach or something, and then like the idiot that he is, he ends up shooting himself in the arm. Luckily the guy, I think, is making a speedy recovery, but he got charged with attempted murder because guess what they found out? The black guy he was fighting did not have a gun. So any defense that he was trying to have about, oh, I'm defending myself, freedom of speech, I can say the hardy are, if you try and shoot me, I've got a gun too, I can defend myself. That law doesn't work, buddy, because he was obviously going around inciting people, and in the particular fight, the guy showed no indication, because I think they've got videos footage of it. He showed no indication that he had a gun. There was no gun found in his person, and the only gun that was found, obviously, the one registered to fucking Chud the Builder. So they're saying now that he could be facing, I've seen numbers going from like 20 to 39, which I think is, you know, preposterous in general, but the numbers are high. And I've got to say, I didn't expect it to end this way, because, you know, it's basically ended, right? His career is fucking finished for the most part. He's definitely, if he wasn't radioactive before, he's super radioactive now. Because essentially people are going to see it as him going to, yes, obviously going to prison for attempted murder, but also going in part because of he's a fucking raging racist. But I was surprised it ended this way, but it's also the best way it could have ended. Because hopefully the black veteran guy makes a speedy recovery, so nobody passed away, and he gets to be locked up for a bit straight after coming out of jail before. By the way, he only came out of jail a couple of days ago in Nashville when he got arrested on the streets. Now he's going back into jail again, so it kind of should make you appreciate what you got on the outside. It should make you appreciate what you have on the outside and just chill out and make your money and go to fucking sleep, you know. It should make you feel that way. But knowing this type of guy, it wouldn't surprise me if he comes out, or if he busts case and gets found not guilty, you'll turn it into a big celebration, you know, to say more outrageous fucking shit. I can definitely see that happening. But it's courtesy of TMZ. It says Chud the Builder charged with attempted murder after courthouse shooting. The picture of it is fucking crazy. The video of it is also hilarious, by the way. There's a video where you can hear him talking to the police, and he's trying to act like a bit of a character. He's trying to appeal to their sympathies and shit, or to their hearts, by talking about, oh, I'm kind of head, like, I mean, it's just funny to hear his tone. The same guy that was going around saying the hardy R with his chest, he sounded like he was whimpering a bit when the medics and the police officers were talking to him. He was really trying to add it on, make it seem like he was really, really fucked up. The Chud the Builder problems are stacking up. The controversial streamer has now been charged with connection with Wednesday's wild shooting. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office announced that Chud, whose name is Dalton Efferly, has been charged and booked for criminal attempt murder, employing a firearm during a dangerous felony, and aggravated assault and reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon. Fucking crazy. Fucking crazy. Essentially, he got himself locked up, if you think about it. On Wednesday afternoon, officers responded to a call of shots fired outside the Montgomery County Courthouse. What a location as well, by the way, to engage in that. Americans are just fucking, you guys are made of different breeds. There's Americans out there who are getting into shootouts outside of the courthouses, outside of police stations. Some Americans are just made different. The men suffered bullet wounds, with one being transported to local hospital and the other treated at scene. Both were listed as stable condition. The Montgomery County District Attorney's Office identified Everly as a suspect who was taken to custody before he was formally charged. Everly live streamed the entire incident, claiming he was jumped outside the courthouse and fired shots in self-defense. He also said yes, and he shot himself in confusion. So from what I understand, he got told to leave them alone, these black guys, and then I think he got turned around and he got snucked on. I think the guy kind of, boom, banged him side of the head. They start fighting, Chud starts losing, panics, and pulls out his gun. That's what I think happened. Which is funny, because during the whole time he's doing the hard ER thing, part of the reason why I think black people were kind of scared to kind of step to him, because he made it very clear that if someone tries to step to him with a gun or anything, he's armed too and he's willing to kill. I remember that being one of the reasons why a lot of people were like scared to approach him. But in actuality, it doesn't seem to be the case. It seemed to be the case that he didn't mind having a scrap. He just, was a big PSSY and wanted to pull out his gun straight away because he was afraid of how far it could go. Which again goes to show you, all it took, it was one. I actually said on the stream, I'm pretty sure I said on one of the streams that all it's going to take is one person who's willing to crash, who doesn't really have any chill. And he met that person, this alleged veteran with PTSD. All it takes is one person to not care about your fucking stipulations and this and that, and it's going to turn left and ugly very fast. And it did. It turned left and ugly very, 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 very quickly. But like I said, I think it's the best for all intents and purposes. I think both people are fine, but for the most part, when it comes to these guys. And I think what it also does is that it helps to kind of, hopefully anyway, temper the mood, calm things down a little bit, because obviously the guy's very divisive and crazy and shit. But just bringing it down a little bit is super important, just to get everyone to kind of call their jets, so that no one's gonna be on like crash out missions to prove their blackness and shit. You get what I mean? So I think it's for the best. He shot himself like an idiot. The guy that he tried to shoot beat him up a little bit, woke him up there. He gets to sit in jail for a bit, hopefully chill out there, sober up, whatever needs to be, and then continue on, I guess, or try at least to continue, which I don't think is going to be easy. I don't think it's going to be easy. Another article here, courtesy of CNN, saying the same thing. Live streamer known for posting racist content. Jesus Christ, what a headline, isn't it? What a fucking title to be known by. Live streamer known for posting racist content faces attempted murder charge after shooting outside a courthouse. The live streamer known as posting controversial videos using racial slurs and facing multiple charges, including attempted murder, after shooting in a front of a Tennessee courthouse on Wednesday. The shooting happened during a confrontation between Dalton Everly, who goes by Chud The Builder online, and another man who authorities have not identified. It's unclear how the shooting unfolded or what led up to it. Actually, it is very clear. There's actually a clip of him talking to one of the paramedics and trying to gain sympathy and shit from them as he's laying there. Actually, it's kind of funny, I'm not going to lie. It's actually kind of funny how he's whimpering and shit. Let me see if I can get it up on here. Is it Party? What's that account? I think it's like Party something. Yeah, it says Party King. This account, Party King, seems to have all the Chud The Builder clips. So if you scroll down, you'll be able to see it here actually, where he's kind of talking. But yeah, it's kind of wild to see how quickly things have digressed in it, right? Like I said the other day, like, he was crying on stream, right? He was kind of looking very emotional, and I don't think he was trolling. I don't think he was being fucking whatever. He was actually crying because, allegedly, according to him anyway, his baby mum or his ex-wife told him that she was going to change her kid's name, or their kid's name. I'm assuming he means like she meant like change the kid's surname, or maybe the first and surname or last name, because of all the shit he's doing, and I guess the harassment they've been suffering at home. Which again is like, why are you surprised? Like, these people all, I don't know, these people are all weird on the internet. You do some crazy shit, then real life consequences happen, and now you're surprised. So yeah, he looked really sad just the other day that his wife was going to change his kid's name, and then not 48 hours later or 24 hours later, he's involved in a skirmish, gets to shooting, and now he's in prison. Kind of crazy how things play out so quickly. At first nothing was happening, everyone felt like, oh my god, he's getting away with it, and then boom, his entire life came crashing down around him.
I might as well just tell you what I'm really upset about. My son's mother texted me today saying that she wants to change his name, switch it from mine. She fears for
understandable by the way, very understandable.
She said, she's like, oh, you've tarnished your name, and I don't want him to have to deal with that.
Understandable.
And I'm sitting there thinking, I walk through the streets and respectable people are literally stopping their cars in the road to shake my hand. I'm walking past people that want to take a picture every second. And the only people that don't like me are niggers that are trying to kill me.
The same N-words that you're going around antagonizing. Like, anyway, whatever. There's no need even trying to explain it to someone like that, isn't it? Also, wearing suspenders with jeans is fucking wild, by the way. It's a wild look, wearing suspenders with jeans. So that happened, and then here he is during the shooting, talking to the police, explaining what happened, basically. Sounding very hurt.
I walked up to them because they were pointing at me. They were laughing. They were pointing at me, and I
see, he's trying to make it sound like they were bullying him. I walked up to them like they were pointing and they were laughing at me. Someone pointing and laughing at you isn't enough for you to shoot them, brother. Even if that's the case, they were pointing and laughing at me. Hear his voice. What happened to that fucking big verbose voice and the fucking getting into people's faces, the fucking bear mace confidence? the handgun confident. What happened to all that? They were pointing at me and laughing. They were laughing and pointing at me.
I said, "What's up, guys? How y'all doing?" I said, "Y'all like the new suit?" He said, "Walk away from me." I walked away from him. He came back up to me. He literally said, "I have PTSD. I feel like I'm in." He said, "You start saying all that chimp out shit to me, I'm gonna hit you." He hit me, started wailing on me.
By the way, he didn't say he said chimp out stuff, right? He said, "You start saying all that chimp out stuff to me, I'm gonna hit you." Most likely, Dalton, you know, Chud tested his gangster and said, "Yeah, you're chimping out, right? You're chimping out." The guy hits him. They get into a scuffle. He gets scared that he's gonna get beat up and pulls out his gun. Worst mistake he's ever made. Just take the beating, man. Take the fucking beating. Live to fight another day. Take the fucking beating. You could always come back online and just lie and say you won. We live in an era of liars anyway, right? Everyone's lying about everything. I don't know why he decided it was a good idea to pull out the gun. That should have been the last thing to do. You should meet force with force. The guy's punching and fighting you. Fight back in it. But I guess that was always the plan. He was never gonna fight back. He was always looking for an escape. He probably wanted. Maybe when the situation arise, he was like, he got like, you know, he was like a deer in headlights. But I think he always wanted anyway to you know, without being verbose, he probably did want to kill a black person anyway. He was really itching for it. But then when the opportunity presented himself, he was kind of like stun locked, you know, he didn't know what to do, which might have led to what it led to.
Even after I had to defend myself by shooting him, he was still wailing on me.
Even I had to defend myself by shooting him, he was still wailing on me. Yeah, that just goes to show you that he's way stronger than you if he was shooting you with a bullet in his stomach and shit. Like, you didn't stand a chance.
Where's your weapon at?
They have everything.
Whose weapon is that right there?
I believe that's it. Is that yours?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's talking to them right now. Oh no, you guys are good to do your thing. Okay. He has a graze. I call it a graze to the left arm. He has slight abrasion right here on his head. Okay. Maybe some scrapes. Slight lightheadedness. No shortness of breath. No issues with memory that I know of. Okay. Hey, what's up with that?
A little overwhelmed, but.
What's up with this one? You got a shot to the stomach.
I'm a little bit overwhelmed. Look at him, baby.
Did I shoot myself or did it graze it?
It penetrated, yeah.
Shit.
But yeah, man, that's basically it. That's basically the conclusion. That is basically the conclusion of Chud the Builder. It ends in a bit of a whimper, innit? Not gonna lie, it ended in a bit of a whimper. In the end, it ended in a bit of a whimper. He ends up shooting himself partly. He ends up getting himself in trouble, and now he's probably facing what they're saying 20 to 39 years or so. Not sure how believable that is, but I did see anywhere from like 20 to 39 years he's facing. It's weird how these things just end like this, isn't it? All this big hullabaloo and stuff, and in the end, it ends the way it ends. It ends the way it ends. Just on a bit of a whimper. Fucking hell. Absolutely crazy scenes. But you haven't seen anything yet. If you think that's crazy, this defense from Myron Gaines of Chud the Builder legitimately made me think like, oh my god, this guy is like unhinged, isn't it? Like, this guy is actually unhinged. Because if you didn't know what he looked like, you would think this was like a Nick Fuentes talking like this, but it's not. It's an alleged black man from America who has these really strange views on these type of things, and he's really crashing out at the fact that this happened. If anything, he's blaming the black person for what happened to Chud the Builder. He's blaming the actual victim for what happened to him. It's kind of fucking insane. But yeah, Myron Gaines goes on a rant, about Chud the Builder shooting a black guy who attacked him. People are tired of effing N-words. We're tired of you effing chimpanzees, orangutans, apes. It's actually crazy, honestly. This might be one of the most craziest rants I've ever heard in my life. But it's very on point for the internet, you know? It's good rage bait content, I guess.
Chud the Builder is saying and doing what a lot of people in America wish they can fucking do. That's tough. I get it. Some of y'all niggas don't like to hear that. Some of you guys are mad about that. But there's a fucking reason why he's had a meteoric fucking rise over the past year. People are tired of fucking niggas, bro. Do I gotta be the one to fucking say it? We're tired of you fucking chimpanzee, orangutan, ape, retard motherfuckers. We're tired of y'all, man. No one wants to live around y'all. No one wants to go to Atlanta. No one wants to get on Spirit Airlines. No one wants to get on any budget airline and deal with you motherfuckers.
You know where this argument falls apart from it being incredibly offensive, you know where this argument falls apart? He was looking for these people. He was seeking them out. He was seeking them out, looking for these people, antagonizing them to have a reaction so he could do something violent. It wasn't like he was just living his life and he was being accosted and he was being fucking stalked and whatever and attacked by random. But no, he was going out of his way to identify and seek and whatever black people that he could kind of bother and bug and try and rile up for a reaction for his fucking stream or to get more donations. That's what he was doing it for. That's why people are pissed off, you know. So I do find it strange how he's kind of trying to frame it, you know, has like, oh, we're tired of this. Okay, if you guys are tired of the N-words, stop talking to them then, stop interacting with them, stop trying to go them into a reaction, live far away from them if possible. It's not really that hard, really.
Nobody wants to go into a fucking gas station where they say we accept EBT and SNAP. Nobody wants to date black women because they're fat and loud. The average black woman's 187 fucking pounds. Like, do I gotta fucking spell it out for you dumbass niggas because you can't fucking read? A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Nobody wants to be around you monkeys. Sorry. And honestly, if you get offended too fucking bad, you're probably the fucking monkey. Because I'll tell you this, the black people that are intelligent that aren't fucking retards aren't gonna be offended by what I'm saying. They know what I'm saying is true. There's a reason why dark Dominican niggas sit there and say, I know black, Bobby. There's a reason why dark fucking Puerto Rican niggas, even though they're retarded too, I know black, Bobby. There's a reason why African niggas say, I know black. You guys have a bad fucking reputation. You guys have bad stereotypes that follow you. And unfortunately, a lot of you niggas adhere to the stereotypes. Whether it's Waka Flocka fucking chimping out over fucking Jake Paul.
By the way, this phrase chimping out, who the fuck invented that? Why do people start saying that? This phrase chimping out is like, it's so crazy, it's so offensive, it's so dismissive, right? So you're not allowed to get upset about things that upset you. If you do, it's called chimping out. If you do, it's like a thinly veiled racist insult. Like, whoever invented the phrase chimping out, you've done a lot of damage, because it's funny, but it's really fucked up to say to somebody, especially a black person, because they are passionately speaking about something that they care about, you know, or that they're raising their voice. You're chimping out. What?
Agreeing that there's a problem, or he wants to be able to do blackface because Drewski can openly do white face. There's a clear double standard in America that people are fucking tired of. We're tired of tiptoeing around black issues because you stupid monkeys want to be the only ones to be able to criticize. You can't talk about this because you ain't black. You ain't one of us. So
is it really tiptoeing though when this guy is going around antagonizing people? Like, again, it's a whole different story if he was minding his business, literally sitting in his fucking garden, and he was getting people just walking past him, throwing stuff at him, calling him cracker. I mean, that's different. But they didn't know him those days. They didn't know, you know what I mean? Like, he's only been in people's mind consciously recently. So whatever's happened recently is basically his fault. He's probably gonna blame people for his wife changing his kid's name, and she's like, bro, like, you're the one that probably forced her into this decision. Like, you can't blame anybody else but yourself.
You can't criticize. Get the fuck out of here with that retarded shit. Get the fuck out of here with that. Do I gotta be a mathematician to say 1 + 1 is 2? Do I gotta be a fucking scientist to say water is wet? Fucking retarded. You can't talk about us because you ain't black. Shut the fuck up. That's precisely why y'all niggas are backwards and retarded, because you rely upon other black niggas to criticize black niggas. And even if someone like me, who comes from the land of the blacks, aka Sudan, you stupid ass monkeys will sit there and say, well, you ain't Cloudfly, you a tether, you from Africa. It's like nobody can fucking criticize y'all niggas. And we're tired of it, bro. We're tired of it. I gotta be the fucking bad guy to say what it is. Chud the Builder is popular because everyone has black fucking exhaustion.
What? I don't even know what he's trying to say. It just doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense what he's even trying to say here. I really don't get it.
Okay? Whether it's Hispanic niggas, white niggas, Arab niggas, even other black niggas. We're tired of you fucking monkeys. I've already done a whole fucking thing on my chat and my supporters. Do you guys know that even though I'm a fucking racist like you faggots try to say, almost 1/3 of my fucking audience is black? Trust me, there's lots of rational niggas out there that realize that you motherfuckers are out of control. You guys are fucking out of control, and we're tired of y'all niggas. It's not a mistake that Chud the Builder has risen in prominence and become popular. It's not a mistake that people like Nick Fuentes are becoming popular. It's not a mistake that clips of Jared Taylor demolishing dumbass Tariq Nasheed during debate are becoming popular. Niggas are tired of niggas. And when I say niggas, I mean all of us. Whether they're black, white, Indian, whatever, Asian, we're all tired of you motherfuckers, bro. You niggas are retarded. We're trying not to fucking bite our tongue around fucking blacks being fucking idiots. Tipping out, acting like fucking retards. Losing their minds over a fucking word. Why is it? I could go right now to fucking somewhere, South Dakota, North Dakota, all white people. I could yell at the top of my lungs with a megaphone. You guys are all a bunch of crackers. I could walk around and
should I even comment on like the comparisons of I don't know. It's just funny, man. I look at this guy and think of like, how were you raised to get like this? How were you raised? What did you experience to say these type of things? Like how was your youth? How was your childhood that would get you to a place where this would be your views? Like, what a strange opinion. What an interesting way to view things, to contextualize things. What an interesting person, you know, in a way. What an interesting human. Like, what?
antagonize white people all day. Cracker, 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 cracker. I don't have to worry about shit. But why is it that a Chud the Builder says nigger, nigger, nigger? He's got to worry about getting shot. Think about that for a second. You stupid fucking retarded monkeys. I can go to a white neighborhood, yell cracker, crack, cracker on a fucking megaphone, and I will be safe. Probably nothing will happen to me. But if Chud goes to the fucking hood, nigger, 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 he's gonna get shot. That's a fucking problem with the blacks. That's a fucking problem with the blacks. And I don't want to hear nothing about slavery, civil rights, the word's history. Shut the fuck up. None of y'all niggas were alive. Shut the fuck up. None of y'all niggas got hit with a fire hose.
So if you didn't get hit with the fire hose directly, you can't be affected by slavery. Your feelings shouldn't be hurt by any slavery joke. If you weren't directly hurt by it, you should not be complaining by it. Okay. Cool, man.
None of y'all niggas was there for a Malcolm X speech. Shut the fuck up, faggots. So fucking retarded. Well, you know, you gotta understand the history of the word is really bad. It's slavery and Jim Crow and whatever. Shut the fuck up. Half you niggas don't even know how to spell Jim Crow. Half you motherfuckers can't even spell history. A lot of you niggas can't even read one page from Alex Haney's book, The Autobiography of Malcolm X. You niggas want to sit here and talk about black history. Shut the fuck up, faggot. Shut the fuck up. Niggas are so dumb. Half the people that get mad about this shit can't even read. Give these dumbass niggas a book. Hey, read one page from Malcolm X. Bro, read one page or else you fucking lose your life. Oh, shit. Bro, get out of here. Get out of here with that, man. There's a reason why this content is popular right now. It's popular because niggas are tired of niggas, bro. It is what it is. Like, if you want to get mad about it, you want to cry, you want to say America's racist, this is so fucked up, Myron's a tether, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? None of you faggots can call me a liar.
Okay. That was Myron's opinion on it, which I don't agree with, of course, but hey. Let him rock with what he wants to rock with. Let him rock with what he wants to rock with. And then we've got Nick Fuentes, actually. Nick Fuentes had something to say, which I thought were kind of interesting regarding the whole situation. And then we're going to move on. But yeah, what a strange, strange world we're living in right now. Let's see what I can find here. Nick Fuentes. What did he say about Chud? I'm pretty sure I saw it recently, just now, after he got arrested. Chud was in the wrong. Yep, there you go. Chud was in the wrong. Even Nick Fuentes said Chud was in the wrong. Of all people. Of all fucking people. Of all fucking people. Let's hear what Nick Fuentes had to say about Chud getting charged with murder.
But our featured story tonight, we're talking about Chud the Builder. Yeah, because there's literally nothing else going on. And we're going to talk all about the latest drama. I'm sure you have seen it, but the live streamer Chud the Builder was arrested today and charged with attempted murder and reckless discharge of a firearm after he got in a confrontation outside a courthouse in Nashville. Mm-hmm. He antagonized some black person who hit him, and then he shot the guy, and I understand they're both alive. Chud the Builder grazed himself in the shooting, and then he shot the other guy, I believe, in the head. I shouldn't laugh. The head and the chest, I think. I'm not totally sure, but 5 rounds were fired, if I'm not mistaken.
We all laugh though, innit? It's a natural reaction. Because sometimes the world is so preposterous, things are so fucking bizarre. The only natural reactions are just like, it's either just like you're aghast, you're gobsmacked, you're gagged, or you just like chuckle. Because of how rocky ridiculous this whole thing is. So it's not even like you're chuckling because you're making light of somebody getting shot in the head. It's more so you're chuckling at the stupidity, the idiocy, the just craziness of it all. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, we just, I think as society, we just stop giving a fuck, innit? Society, we've all just, not, well, I guess not all of us, but some people they just stop caring. People just stop caring about their lives, but like, even Chud's a good example. Stop caring about their lives, about their families, about their kids, just stopped caring. And just doing anything for clout, anything for fucking fame. And now look, now you're facing 20 plus years in prison.
And there's no video of it, only the audio. That's what we're going to talk all about. Sad story. And not for nothing, but I was diplomatic in my criticism of Chud the Builder, and he tried to put a curse on me. Just saying, screenshots are out there. I said, I don't like that style of content. That's his whole thing. His whole shtick is he goes around, he's an IRL streamer, in real life streamer, and he goes around antagonizing people. Now, his defenders say he is never the antagonist. He just gets himself in these situations. I've seen enough, and it looks confrontational.
He is the antagonist. I've seen many clips of him walking up to people. Like, he walks over to them. They don't say nothing to him. He walks over to them. In the beginning, he would walk around and just let people say stuff to him. Like, he'd be walking around like with his chest up, like giving it the kind of arrogant look and shit. But then I guess that wasn't getting the reaction that he needed. So he started to like instigate the situations by walking up to people. So yeah, that whole like, I don't do anything, I'm just minding my business. No, you don't. Shut up. You're lying.
And it looks hostile. And it looks like a big public nuisance. I don't like that. I don't like people making a big spectacle in public. I don't like that. I don't like to encounter that. I wouldn't want to be a part of that. And so I said this a few weeks ago. I said, I don't really like that whole approach. That's not my style. And he replied to the clip and said that he's putting the Chud curse on me. He said, I'm cursed by him. Yeah, well, I think that backfired a little bit. No pun intended.
Jesus Christ.
It's been a bad week. So it seems like the Chud curse was deflected back onto him, and now he's having not a very good time. Another victim. You hate to see it. I don't really have any animosity towards him. I don't know him. I don't have strong feelings toward him.
You fooled me there. You fooled me there. I don't have any strong feelings towards him. You fooled me there with that little clip there. You fooled me. And then yeah, this last one here calls out the double standards of Wignats and Chud the Builder.
And people now say he's a martyr. He's a martyr. Well, the black people were chimping out. Well, I don't know. If I were standing around and a black person was live streaming near me and they started saying things offensive to white people, yeah, maybe I would feel a certain type of way about that. Maybe, isn't that sort of our whole thing? And there's something ironic about that. You have a lot of people who are pro-white, and it's all about racial pride, and it's all about beating their chest, and it's all about saying, oh, you know, I'm white. Don't try that stuff around me. Don't insult white people around me. So much racial pride. But then there's this double standard where it seems that white people want to go out in some cases and offend the sensibilities of other people. They feel emboldened, for example, to use harmful stereotypes about other people, say racial slurs about other people, be provocative towards other people, and that's fine. That's free speech. That's funny. Hey, man, can't you take a joke? Hey, man, it's just a word. And when black people get pissed off or take umbrage or they attack, oh, well, you're chimping out. But then when the roles are reversed, if somebody says something anti-white, if someone says something exclusionary to white people, it's those same white people that puff up their chest and say, how dare you? You would never say that about a minority, this, that, and the other. How much abuse have you? Let's just be perfectly honest. Let's be fair. A lot of people aren't going to like this monologue. I don't care. This is what's fair. This is what's true. I see on the timeline how many out and loud and proud white people are saying Indians are fucking Jeeps and blacks are niggers and Mexicans are spics and all this kind of stuff. Fucking Jeeps and blacks are niggers. Indians are fucking Jeeps and blacks are niggers. Indians are fucking Jeeps and blacks are niggers. Blacks are niggers. Blacks are niggers. Blacks are niggers. Blacks are niggers and Mexicans are spics and all this kind of stuff. And making jokes about you shit in the street and you like watermelon and all this kind of stuff. And they're the same people. They don't want to hear anything negative about whites. And how do I know that? Because I say negative things about all groups of people. And it's the same.
Imagine being proud of that, by the way. Nick Fuentes is a fucking mental case, isn't it? Imagine proudly saying that.
Groups of people. Negative about whites. And how do I know that? Because I say negative things about all groups of people. I say negative things about all groups of people. Know that because I say negative things about all groups of people. Because I say negative things about all groups of people. And it's the same people that die laughing when I make fun of one group. Ha ha, that's hilarious. I love when you say nigga. I love when you do that bit. I love when you say you're not going to go to the gas station if there's black people. That's hilarious. When I say Polish people are slipping on a banana peel or they can't change a light bulb, it's the same people saying, hey man, you're anti-white. You say Albanians aren't white. Fuck you. So which is it?
Have you ever considered just not being racist to anyone? It seems like you cause issues to everybody, right? The Polish people get upset, the black people get upset, the Indian people get upset. Maybe the solution is to just not be racist to people in general. Can we try that? Could we try that? Could we just not try to be racist? Could we just try not to be racist? Is that not possible? Could we just try not to be racist? Maybe that's not possible. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe that is not physically possible. Maybe that is not physically possible. Maybe. But yeah, man, I don't know. Not gonna lie, I'm shocked. It ended on a bit of a whimper. The Chud the Builder story ended on a bit of a whimper, man. I think I expected a lot more fireworks. Maybe some more resistance. Maybe it's just something more, you know? It kind of ended on a whimper. He basically got himself locked up. You know, in a kind of embarrassing way. He shot himself. The other guy isn't dead. So whatever you want to do in terms of, like, you know, evening the scoreboard and getting a black person off the planet, whatever fucked up idea you had, it didn't work. The guy you shot, allegedly in the head, isn't even dead. Yet you're gonna be facing time in prison. Many years. It's fucking wild how it plays out, man. It's absolutely wild how this shit fucking pans out. But yeah, man. I guess he'll have to, you know, do what he has to do. I guess he'll have to do what he has to fucking do. Okie dokie, moving on, moving up, moving in. Let's talk a little bit about Drake. Drake dropped, or Drake leaked, or someone from his team leaked at least, ICEMAN. No, not ICEMAN, fucking ICEMAN. 1 a.m. in Albany. Usually most of you guys know when it comes to Drake and his timestamp records, they're usually the opportunity for him to talk his shit, and he did talk his shit on this particular record. He went in really hard, mostly against Joe Budden, some bars here for Kendrick. He definitely addressed LeBron James beef, and just in general reminded everybody who switched up on him, who switched sides during the fucking battle, that it's not all fun and games. It's not all ha ha he he's on this side again. Stay over there. You switched up, you did whatever, stay over there. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the record. I've been playing it a lot this morning, actually, this afternoon, this evening. I was banging it out during my run in the morning. Had a good time trying to learn the lyrics as I'm running around the track. breathing out my fucking asshole. But I enjoyed it. I really fucking did. And I'm hoping, because there is a suggestion, there is a hint, there is a theory out there that this track won't be on the album. 1 a.m. in Albany won't be on Drake's ICEMAN album coming out tomorrow. Allegedly, this is just a runaway to feed the streets for some marketing purposes, to get his name popping, whatever. But it won't actually be available on the album, which is good, because I feel like I want the album to be mostly just bars or like good music in general, whatever. But I also would hate for him to kind of use this moment of anticipation for his album just to kind of rehash the beef again, you know? Like, yes, that beef with Kendrick is always going to be on top of his head. It's going to be a part of his legacy, similar to Kendrick. But there should be more, you know? Fans should be... the fans should deserve more. They deserve some music, you know? And not just a continued back and forth over the beef, you know? It's just boring after a while. So, all that to say, really looking forward to it. The album drops tomorrow. Album is dropping tomorrow. I'm sure most of you guys know. And Drake also announced via, I think, his Instagram, that episode 4 of what's the show called? Episode 4 of, what is it called again? Episode 4, I guess, of ICEMAN, that he was dropping before, will be dropping tomorrow. Will be dropping tomorrow or later tonight. Sorry, later tonight. Later tonight, I guess it's 9:45 Canadian time, right? 9:45 Canadian time will be ICEMAN, which I'm guessing will probably get a playthrough of the album. I'm guessing this episode will be him going through the entire album in the fucking video, and then as it ends, the album will be dropped on digital streaming platforms. I think that's what he's gonna do. I think so. That'll be the approach. So I'm really looking forward to that one. As you can see here, the YouTube thing, all that way in purpose. So that's the reply there. Regarding the track itself, right, the most obviously aggressive and really disrespectful bar was left for Joe Budden. So there is a theory out there, which I don't believe, I don't agree with, I don't agree with. There is a theory out there that the reason why Joe Budden hates Drake so much, the reason why he was really enjoying and reveling in the Kendrick battle and really trying to dance on Drake's grave and pointing out that he's a bad person and always having bad things to say about him and just being a real cunt to the guy, you know, having a lot of animosity towards Drake. Some people suggest that the reason why Joe Budden has so much animosity towards Drake is because Drake allegedly has fucked a lot of Joe Budden's ex-girlfriends. In particular, I've heard the two that really affected Joe Budden were Tahiri, one girl he proposed to, and Sin Santana, a lady that he's had a kid with. Those two in particular were ones that kind of got under Joe Budden's skin, that Drake messed with them. Maybe because he felt like they were friends and he shouldn't have gone near them. I don't know. But that's what we've heard. Now, I don't think that makes any sense. Because although I don't listen to the Joe Budden podcast nowadays, I did used to be a fan before he fired Rory Moore. And I remember one of the interesting things about Joe Budden is that he has a bit of a cuck thing. He kind of hints at it from time to time. And I think he said it on other pods, but he's got a bit of a cuck thing where he really does enjoy finding out, especially from his girl, that she has smashed other guys, especially maybe other friends of his and stuff. Because then he gets really nosy and starts to ask about performance and about this and about that. So he's a bit of a weirdo when it comes to that sort of stuff. So if that's the case, I wouldn't imagine somebody that's into that sort of stuff would be weirded out by like somebody else doing it. It wouldn't really bother them that much. So I don't really buy the whole, oh, he's jealous of, or he hates him, or Joe Budden hates Drake because, you know, he fucked this lady. I don't think he cares. I really don't. So I'm not sure. So I think the beef between them is way deeper. But, you know, they probably don't want to admit it because, you know, men don't really like to admit what makes them upset. But regardless of that, Drake is also always makes it clear that he also doesn't have any time for Joe. Like, the feeling's mutual. If we think Joe probably hates Drake too much, I think Drake hates Joe just equally as much, which is weird because I think they're both quite similar personality-wise, which also might be the reason why they fell out. You never know. But one of the bars in the fucking 1 a.m. in Albany that Drake levies towards Joe Budden is brutal, especially the last line. Drake says to Joe Budden on the end of that track, "I watched this guy spasm with a puzzle face. Who knows which one of his bubble-shaped things I must have ushered through the double gates. Showered her Showed her the time of her life while Broski was having stomach aches. Hearing about good times at Lover's Lake. Sent her back to you while you were sleepwalking naked in another state. The last line is a really brutal one. Ah, you'll live to see another day. And even if you don't, it's just another day. We ain't crying for your punk ass anyway. Drake is saying categorically, without a shadow of a doubt, that he's literally counting down the days when Drake dies, when Joe Budden dies. Drake is saying he hates the guy so much. When he dies, he's counting down the days, but when he does die, it'll just be another day. Who gives a fuck? You're irrelevant. It's absolutely insane thing to say to somebody, but it also goes to show you like the level of hate, you know, that's there, and I must see this build up between them over the years. And Joe does that. So Joe has an ability to make people do that. He has an ability to trigger people that way, to tickle them. Do you know what I mean? To really get under their skin. And I guess we're seeing this in this regard. But yeah, I don't know. I also get the feeling like Drake is also trying to find out what exactly their beef is, you know? Because the way Drake was going on about this whole Kendrick thing was a bit too weird. Like, what? Like, were you guys always secretly friends? Like, he was really riding him hard. So I think, you know, some people just can't figure out exactly what's going on. I think Drake is one of them. I think Drake generally, I think if you ask Drake privately, I don't think he actually has any idea why Joe hates him so much. Because like I said, I don't believe the girl thing. I think they have many, I think they've been, you know, Eskimo brothers on many occasions. I think they have many women in common because I think they both have the same taste. Maybe not so much nowadays, but definitely traditionally, like, you know, big super fat tits. So I just find it unlikely that guys who are that into those type of women will be also that bothered when one or two overlap, because there's not many of those girls out there anyway. Do you know what I mean? There's not many of those girls out there, not many of those guys of their kind of standing. You know, it is what it is. Small world. So, but then again, on the flip side, I say all that, but then all of the most legendary beefs in hip hop, all the downfalls, all the tragedies and losses and stuff, some of them, if you look and scan a bit deeper, you'll find out that a lot of those beefs were started either because of money or women, you know? So the inability to deal with the women, to deal with the money or whatever, kind of got people fucked up and shit. So maybe the whole story and narrative that Joe's just jealous or Joe's just hates Drake because Drake allegedly funds Sin Santana, his baby mum, might be true. Maybe there's some truth to it. Maybe there's some truth to it. Another lyric as well directed towards Kendrick here that says, "What is it? The braids, even if I cut them, I could never fade." I mean, it's Drizzy Drake. This obviously is more pointing towards the fact that Kendrick has said, I think in some of his records during the beef, that Drake isn't black. He shouldn't use the word N. He shouldn't use the N word, and that he's only doing the braids to make himself look more black. I think that was one of Kendrick's kind of like, you know, observations he made about Drake and stuff. Like, he's only wearing braids so he looks a lot more black and stuff, which I find funny. But yeah, because I don't think you can automatically look blacker with braids. I don't think it works that way. But anyway, big up Kendrick. And then another bar here he has towards Kendrick: "To be the number one, you gotta lead the way. To hold on to something over my head forever, you still see a couple feet away. Plot twist: the owl never sees the cage. The owl only wakes up to seize the day. Talking about hiding the Bible, maybe y'all should read a page. Iced out crosses on their necks thinking Jesus saves. Even if he does, N-word, either way, the blasphemy you talk let me know that your amazing grace gonna be delayed. You N-words should be ashamed. The fact you had to bring those talks, to get some decent play. Goodness gracious. God wanna wipe that little smug look off your face. Jesus. All you really did was clap like uppercase, dodge the truth, to still manage to finally get a hit that let you run the base. N-word saw what the sun saw you at first. You need them, so you at home now, just like double play." Let's go that one more time. That was a good bar there. God wanna wipe that little smug look right off your fucking face. All you really did was cap like uppercase, dodge the truth, but still managed to finally get a hit that let you run a base, nigga. Saw you at first. You need them. So you are at home now, just playing double play, which is a good bar because it kind of, again, another reminder to all the LA goons and artists out there that, you know, he didn't really reach back that much, you know, after the battle. He kind of disappeared and did his own thing. There wasn't a lot of reaching back and helping people and stuff. So Drake is reminding him that, hey, to be number one, you also have to kind of bring people through, hold the door ajar, you know, reach people out and shit. It's not just you solo doing your thing. You go also kind of interact with the people, them, your local community, your peers in hip hop and shit, you know. But yeah, fucking brilliant. Big up fucking Drizzy Drake. Can't wait for the album to drop. Can't wait. Another one here says, this is regarding towards J. Cole. I could have fell back like the married rapper, but we engaged. I told y'all I'm settled in my ways. But we engaged, we ain't gay. Oh, such a good line. Such a good line. Such a good fucking line. And then another one here aimed towards Drake, or Dr. Dre, sorry. This took me a while to figure out during the live stream, I'm not gonna lie. It said if Drake took out the AK, which I thought was aimed towards DJ Academics, maybe he'd be in jail, but based off the name that spells. But maybe he'd be in jail just based off the name that it spells, Doctor. Honestly, too good, too fucking good. Big up Drizzy Drake, big up Blood Clot Drizzy Drake. And then last one here, he says at the start of the track, he says, just come home from hearing a lot of N-words, cop a lot of pleas like, oh brother, you know me, you know we brothers, we never been nothing. Send me the owl emoji in my DM, ain't gonna mean nothing. Don't try coming around when it scores back to 10-0. I don't want to hear none of that shh. Love to hear it. I don't want to hear none of that shh. Me neither, Drake. Me neither. I don't want to hear none of that. Stay over there. Stay over there. I say that too. I agree. I agree, Drake. Tell them to stay over there. Tell them to stay over there. Mind your fucking business. Mind your fucking business. Okay? Mind your business. Anyways. Big up Drake. I really enjoyed the track though. I really did enjoy the track. And like I said, I hope it's a throwaway. Hope it is a leak. Hope we don't get all of that on the album. Hope the album is mostly just bars of him just, you know, barring shit up in general, and not just all like Kendrick and J. Cole and LeBron James stuff. Like, I'm tired. I mean, I'm kind of tired. I don't want to revisit the bit like the stands and the fucking like it's too much. I'm fucking tired. So hopefully it's just straight up music going forward. Hope it's just straight up music going forward. Let's also talk a little bit about where is he? My guy, big fucking Tobz. Where are you? Where's fucking big Tobz? Oh, I'll put big Tobz. Bear me a second. Yeah. Big Tobz here. Where's Big Tobz? Okay, cool. Let me get Big Tobz up anyway. So, as you guys know, I spoke a little bit about this beforehand regarding he was a rapper at one point, but now he's turned into a bit of a social media person and just an influencer in general. Does some celebrity boxing stuff. He goes on reality TV shows. This guy called Big Tobz in the UK, who got arrested at a Dubai airport for trying to smuggle, at the time it was 14 kilos of marijuana from Thailand to Dubai. Now, at first, the original report was that this guy from the UK was trying to smuggle stuff from Thailand to Dubai en route to London. So the Dubai was a layover, was a stop, which I don't think makes any sense. But then I thought about it to myself, you know what? Knowing how goons are, knowing how people from the ends are, there is a possibility that he probably didn't have the money to pay for a direct flight, and instead got a flight with a layover in Dubai that then transferred to London. But as you guys know, the Middle East, places like Dubai, they don't play when it comes to drugs and shit. So that would have been the worst place ever to do a layover. But then later on, it transpired, courtesy of Bouncer, big up Bouncer, he's got all the information. He was able to provide more information, and we basically got told that no, it wasn't a flight that he took because he has no money and he just couldn't afford a direct flight. That was that he was actually trying to go to Dubai. He was actually trying to smuggle those drugs into Dubai. That was the whole point. Which I guess makes sense, even though even though Dubai's got crazy strict sentencing when it comes to drugs, it does make sense because of the crazy sentencing. So I'd imagine it's probably quite hard in Dubai and Middle East to get anything, you know, anything involving like adult fun stuff and activities and whatever. It's probably really difficult to get outside of alcohol. And because of that, it probably makes the price of those things really expensive, really high. So it's probably a really lucrative business. Like if you can manage to slip through 14 kilograms past the fucking Dubai airport, whatever, if you can manage to get it through, you can basically charge what you want on the other side, on the street, you know? So I get the risk, but the thing that really made the story even crazier and really just put fucking Big Tobz in a bad light, it was later discovered, it was later revealed that he was on this trip with a girl that he met in Thailand. So allegedly the story goes, Big Tobz befriended some Russian influencer girl in Thailand. They got to talking, they got to hanging out. He then convinces her to come with him to Dubai on like a, hey man, I like you, let me fly you out type shit. They fly out, and then when they get pulled off the plane or whatever to inspect the bags, her bag is the one that's got the smuggled fucking weed in it. So the guy, the Big Tobz guy, put the smuggled weed, unbeknownst to this girl, put it in her luggage without her realizing, checked the luggage in, and then when they got pulled off the plane, he wanted her to take the blame. But there are some people who are suggesting that story doesn't sound too legit. How would somebody put something in your bag without you knowing? Why would you let somebody check in your bag and you've only just met them recently? All sorts of nonsense is happening, but in general, it's one of the most stickiest and worst situations I've ever seen, and also a reminder that a lot of these influencers, especially, you know, most places in the world, they're not as up as you think they are. A lot of these influencers are not as up as you think they are, because that's the only reason that would excuse somebody of Big Tobz standing to run such a risk of trying to smuggle 14 or now it's 17 kilograms of kilos of marijuana into Dubai. One of the biggest own goals I've ever seen, really. But I guess the risk is worth it, I think, if you think about it from a monetary point of view, because of how much money can be done from it. So I guess it is what it is. I guess it is what it is. Let's go. Big up Bouncer.
This is what she's told to the police, just so you know, yeah? So I don't want you lot to miss it. This is what she's told on her phone to her friend, that what's happened, that she's banged up where she is, that she's told to the police. There's a suitcase that's been put in her name. So the suitcase is her name, but she's flying with Big Tobz and she's flown to this next destination. And in my head, I'm thinking, bro, you have to be on a line, bro. You have to be mad for you to come here. Yeah, for you to come here. Fam, you'll get 3 years for a spliff here. Don't play games when it comes to, like, any classes over here. Like, don't play games, bro. Get me? You're good with the balloon stuff. They don't know what it is here. But anything else, do not play games. You're gone. Respectfully. Just so you know that. Yeah? Cool. But don't know. The destination wants to come here. Anyway, so when they've come here, obviously, they've been stopped. Get me? And in my head, why would you even come here, bro? What's going on? Everything, the security is going to be on super alert. This is not a joke. What's going on? Like, the security is going to be on alert. It's only a couple months ago, there's been write-ups about things happening in the airport. So I don't know. You get me? But this is what it is. When you chase money, you get me? Money will be your biggest downfall. And me making this video.
But I think there's also just the idea of just the lucrative returns. It's just probably too tempting. The money's probably really tempting to turn down, because this Big Tobz guy is a decent sized influencer or personality in the UK. You'd imagine he probably makes a decent amount of money. So the only thing that would literally turn his head is just ability to make it very quickly. And obviously it being a big amount. And who knows, he might have done it at previous times. He might have done it like 10, 12 times before and never had a problem. So a lot of it just comes from, you know, again, the offer just being too good to turn down. But the wild part for me is just that there is this like undercurrent, this like kind of approach where these guys are going to places like Thailand and trying to befriend like digital nomads or like single girls who are, you know, out there doing their thing, trying to make their life happen. And they do it under the guise of like, oh yeah, I'm falling for you, I want to be with you. And then quickly they're like, yeah, let's fly out somewhere, let's go to this place. And you're going with them, but then you're unaware that they've put some of the luggage in your name. You know? Crazy move, man. Crazy fucking move.
It's not to be disrespectful to anyone, Big Tobz' family or this family, but get me, it's just me. I'm just saying it how it is. You get me? Whether you like it or not, this is what she's saying. This is the story, and he might have a different story. But anyway, one thing she knows is she's never been to over this place. She's never been here. You get me? She hasn't been here. She's got asked by a celebrity to come here and whatnot. He's been chatting to her, and now she's coming on the impression that she's been manipulated, she's been befriended in a sense of, when he went back, he was talking to her for a couple of weeks. Then he asked her to come to this place. Then they've been stopped. They've been arrested. You get me? And as soon as the suitcase opened up, she said that he said that stuff is hers.
That's crazy, bro. This guy you just met, who has charmed you into going on a trip with him to Dubai, you get caught, you get pulled off the plane, they're expecting your luggage, they open it, there's packs in there, and he immediately points to you. Oof.
Get me? And then from when he said that, obviously she's just saying, look, this is not my bag, it has nothing to do with me, it's been put in my name, I've traveled, this is what's happened, this is where I'm at, and I've been set up here. You get me? Now, what I've heard is the police said, why did you do that to her? You get me? This is what I've heard, you get me, from people. But anyway, this is just the facts of the matter is, I did say one misinformation that I said, is I said 14 bits. It was 17. 17 bits, not 14 bits.
17 kilos of marijuana into Dubai. You got some fucking balls, man. You have some fucking balls. A place where they cut people's hands off, throat, get people off a fucking bill. You got some balls, bro. 17 grams. You have some absolute balls. You're made of different stuff if you're willing to risk your life. Jesus Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah, big up Big Tobz, man. It's looking kind of sticky for him out there. It's looking kind of sticky. But that detail's the worst part about it, though. The detail about the girl being completely unaware of what was going on. Thinking she was going on some little kind of romantic trip with some guy, some cute guy she just met in fucking Barcelona, sorry, in Thailand, and then very quickly you're locked up, you're banged up abroad. And now I think I heard a voice note of her talking to one of her friends, getting her friend to try and download the Translate app. She's talking like in broken English, trying to get her to translate and send a message back to her mom to say it's scary. I can't imagine how scary that is. But yeah, hold your head up, I guess. Hold your head up to that young lady. Hold your head up to that young lady. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna love you and leave you. This is the end of the Agostino's English episode number 1000 and what is it? 40. I'm about to get ready and shit. Might do a random show later actually. I need to still watch the Joe Rogan and do the timestamps for the other show, so we'll see. But if not, I'll see you guys again tomorrow. If not, I'll be back again later on tonight. But I appreciate all of you. This has been the Agostino's English show episode number 1040. For those of you listening to the audio side of the podcast, my song of the day will obviously be Drake 1 AM in Albany. If you want to hear that, you have to listen to the audio podcast. You'll hear Drake 1 AM in Albany. But for now, thank you for tuning in. I'm going to end the show right here, and I'll see you guys again on the other side for more Tazz later. Peace.